found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. Found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
Let's go. Sean Sinclair, are you fired up, focused, and prepared today? Because the great Evan Russell's finna join us. Are you pumped? I want to know right now.
I didn't know he was joining us, but yeah, I am now.
Say. You missed the meeting, the pre-production meeting. You miss a lot. See that, Cinco? See how that works? And then
I'll remind you that usually you check in or you punch in about 11:05. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
but nonetheless, I'm excited to hear what Evan says. The thing I really like about listening to Evan over the years, and I like Will, and I like the other Burke, and I like everything, but Evan seems to have a very calm demeanor about him, and he's able to teach some backstage stuff that most of us don't realize, and I can appreciate the way he does that. Maybe it's because he was a catcher. They always say catchers know the game better than anybody else.
Oh, I got to ask Heflin about that. Whoa, is that right, Bride? Do catchers know the game better than the pitchers?
Well, sometimes they say the best managers, coaches are former catchers.
Uh-oh. Better get Mako. Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today. Cinco, do you believe we're here? Because I didn't think that team would get through a round a couple weeks ago. I didn't think they would. Which would have been kind of par for the course for what goes on with teams that are defending national champions. It's just an incredible display in consistency with this program with Tony Vols.
It really is. I mean, we're one of the top 16 teams in the country, so we're still one of the top 16. So
Yep.
Yes, but given the way they played, given the way they have an off switch, I'm about how about 25% surprised they're here, but they certainly have the ability to be here, and everything that's happened before is over. It doesn't matter. I know.
Yep.
Flush and clear, whatever, snap and clear, flush it, whatever it is. That is truly the case. None of that stuff matters. And I will say this: I didn't get to go to the game Monday. It's hard for me on a work day with another work day coming up. So we had other tickets. And I know other people, I've heard at least 3 or 4 other clusters of people that were able to go that typically don't go. And that's pretty good. Maybe that whole place needed a good flushing with some new fans in there, invigorated stuff. So that was pretty cool. And it was also interesting to me. It absolutely took an over the top exuberance, we'll say, from Doyle and Fisher to get the rest of the team going. That was interesting. I hope they can keep that up, because I mean, Fisher was Drew Gilbert on steroids, and except for when Chase Burns went psycho for a couple minutes, I've never seen a pitcher in a Tennessee uniform walk around like that with that much command, that much presence. And I'm glad they did. I hope the rest of the roster can feed on that and can elevate their intensity.
Yesterday we had a gentleman on from Arkansas who had a really great line, Dudley Dawson. He said, in an era where people skip bowl games because they want to protect themselves, Tennessee had a kid that's supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft say, "Give me the ball again." With little regard to what this is going to do to me, it's all about, hey, we're in the moment, and I want us to win. I want you to win. I want me to win. I want us to win. I want to win. And when we come back on the other side, Evan Russell's going to join. We'll break it down scientifically with him. I want to remind you that that's presented. It's a World Championship Wednesday presented by our friends at Rather Kittrell. RK Capital, Rather Kittrell, rkcapital.com, helping you make smart money decisions through life's transitions. Look, if you're not sure how to make your money last to retirement, they can help you. If you're changing jobs and unsure what to do with a 401k, don't do something foolish with it. Let them help you. If you're selling a business, or maybe you're coming into a financial windfall, it can be treacherous out there. Maybe you recently lost a spouse or a partner, they can help you. Planning for your family's future, they got you. Concerned about the market's ups and downs, who isn't? They've got you. Are you paying too much in taxes? They've got you. Uncertain about your financial future? They've got you. RK Capital. Whether it's personalized financial planning, disciplined investment strategy, ongoing guidance and partnership, they got you. We come back on the other side. The captain of the Volunteers, Evan Russell, will join us, the man that commands the room anytime he's in it. Evan Russell, one of the Fightin' Vols, because the Fightin' Vols go to Arkansas this week with a real opportunity to fight their way out of there. It's a beautiful thing. By the way, Tennessee added a power bat. Hey, Cinco, what can you tell me about this kid from Walter State? He's like the Triple Crown winner at that level. Sounds like they got somebody that can really hit the baseball, huh?
Pretty interesting story, and I'm glomming this from articles out there. Apparently, local kid kind of always wanted to play at Tennessee. Coming out of high school, was a nice player but needed development. Went to Walter State. Actually redshirted last year. Mm-hmm. So this is his first year of playing college, if I read the articles right. Mm-hmm. And just put up Albert Azuna type numbers in junior college. Won the mythical Triple Crown, if you will, hit almost 500. Junior college is a different kind of thing. We saw, Arvidsson, big time prospect, took a while to get acclimated. Now he looks like he's on fire, but nonetheless, now we have, if they don't get drafted or stay in the draft, and we got the number one JUCO pitcher prospect in the country, and arguably the number one hitter in the country coming in. So, as Tony does when he goes shopping on Rodeo Drive.
Kudos to Tony. Anybody with teeth that white's got to shop in a different aisle than I'm shopping in. They see how I'm dressed and look at my teeth, and they say, they're the bargains over there. Go get you something. As we come back on the other side right after this.
Are you wanting to raise money for mission trips or summer camps for your church? Fundraising just got easier. I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds, and we partner with churches to raise money through custom-labeled coffee. It's fresh, local, and gives back. Start today at our website, gradeagrounds.com.
Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Back by popular demand, all-you-can-eat Wednesdays with your Knoxville Smokies. The most delicious Wednesday dinner is tonight. All-you-can-eat pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, and more. Is anyone else getting hungry? We'll see you tonight.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather Kittrell Capital Management. And here at Rather Kittrell, we understand that life is full of transitions. Since 2000, our team of dedicated certified financial planners has been helping individuals, families, and businesses navigate these changes with confidence. From comprehensive wealth management to tailored retirement plans, we're committed to guiding you toward a secure financial future. Ready to take the next step? Visit rkcapital.com or call us at 865-218-8400 to start your journey today. Rather Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
Summer officially starts this month, and the last thing you want during sweltering heat is a broken air conditioner or HVAC system. That means it's more important than ever to keep you and your family comfortable and safe before extreme Tennessee temperatures arrive. Don't ignore the warning signs that your AC is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need emergency HVAC repairs, routine preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month, get up to a $1,000 discount when you buy and install a new air conditioner or HVAC system. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Are you stuck in a dead-end job or ready for a new challenge? Do you feel like it's time to try a new career? Well, it's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. My friends at TLD Logistics have some really exciting opportunities for you to learn a new skill. With a new 5-acre driving academy that's now under new leadership with all new course material. And the best part, it's absolutely free. What a great deal to set you on the road to higher pay. And TLD Logistics even offers weekly stipends to offset food and gas expenses. In 6 weeks' time, you could complete this course and be in compliance with FMCSA regulations. Then you're ready for the open road of opportunity. What are you waiting for? It's time to change lanes with TLD Logistics. Visit tldlogistics.com. That's tldlogistics.com. TLD Logistics.
A lime is not always just a lime. You see, some limes are lucky. For when a lime joins the salted rim of a crisp, refreshing Tres Dos Equis, that lime is no longer a mere lime, but a wedge of renowned Mexican limón. Muchas gracias, limón. And also, de nada. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Okay, so here we are, ladies and germs. It's pretty unbelievable, Andy. Fired up, focused, and prepared. Pretty fired up, pretty focused, and prepared, and it's an RK Capital Management. Listen, it's World Championship Wednesday. I got to say a special thanks here to a guy that these Wednesday segments don't happen without him. And I'm talking about none other than the captain of the Volunteers himself, Evan Russell, on my TLD Logistics phone line. Ev, when I say your name, man, I smile. And I really do believe, and the great Chris Burke, we've said this, your group, you guys started the party. And this year's team kept the fires burning somehow, because I did not think this team 3 weeks ago was going to win a round. So I want to park there with you. When you see a group kind of sputter down the stretch like these guys, and you know how mental this game is, how beautiful is it to be a Tennessee Volunteer right now, Evan? How proud are you from your perch at that loyalty fund that you run, which is and I want to encourage folks to reach out to Evan. I'm going to let him give the coordinates, but Evan has a heart for these players. Evan has a heart for mentoring these players, being a voice to these players. And without Evan helping us out, we don't get these kids on I'd love to pat myself on the back, but all year long, we've had just a get to know you with several of these guys, and Evan has made it possible. And then we will gladly give to the loyalty fund for that, because it's a win-win-win-win-win for everybody, because I know that Evan's heart is pure, and I know what he's going to do. He's going to do right for those kids. And so, Evan, I bring you in against that backdrop. Have you ever had an intro like that in your born days, my friend?
Well, you make me smile every time I get on this show, and that's what it's all about, right? And speaking of smiling, if you're not smiling about the opportunity that Tennessee has coming up, then you are not a fan of the sport. I mean, it's beautiful to see a Tennessee team that is coming out and they're playing hard. They're full of emotion. The entertainment is there. I'm very, very proud of the product that they put out this past weekend. I know that basically all nation is too, which is great.
Well, and I saw your tweet at Chipper Jones, which you're out there fighting the good fight. I don't know if Chipper Jones was talking about the Vols or not. I think he was talking about Georgia, actually, because he's a big Florida fan and he lives right there in Georgia's backyard. And Georgia does like to walk around with like one shirt button now, like they're playing on Bino's softball team or something, like Bino with his hairy chest hanging out. Like, who the hell wants to look at Bino's hairy chest with one button buttoned? Not me. I'm trying to eat lunch, man, in like an hour and a half. Don't do that to me. But Evan, you came back at Chipper Jones with, hey man, shout out the Tennessee Volunteers here. Give us a little look-see into what you said to him.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know if he was talking about Tennessee. I mean, everyone makes their assumptions, but whenever you're watching college baseball, it's a completely different game than professional baseball. So whenever I was with the Angels for my short stint, I quickly saw that it did not matter if you won a game or not. It didn't matter what the guy next to you did. It was so business structured that the enjoyment of the game was no longer just focused on winning and losing and competing. It was mainly a business at that point, and it was focusing on putting food on the table. So whenever Chipper makes those comments about he doesn't appreciate the way that college baseball is being played, well, he was in a different environment, and I don't fault him for not understanding the difference because he didn't see it. But to really make a comment about how the game is played at the college level, these guys that are coming out, every game matters. The competition matters. What they're and every team does the same thing. Whenever I was there, it wasn't just us that was jawing at the other team, and the other team wasn't being saints. So every team does it. It's just which team has the most spotlight on them that makes it appear like they're worse. But if you look at the end of the day, these college athletes, most college baseball players are really, they take care of business. You don't see college baseball players committing crimes, and you usually don't see that happening in that culture. So for them to go out and just have some fun and entertain, which is what they're doing, they are in the business of entertainment. I think that you should give them a little grace.
Here's the thing that, and Will Heflin, by the way, who does the Garza Law Extra Innings show, God, man, you were right about him, by the way. And shout out Heflin. Heflin, if you're listening right now, I'm putting an APB out for you. If you're man enough, answer the APB. If not, it's cool. But you were right about him. He said the other night about when the kid gets thrown out for talking to the catcher, that's when we figure out what happened. As the post game show went on, because he got thrown out in the late innings, and then Tony comes out afterwards and says he's talking to the catcher, and Tony calls it foolish. And I'll tell you what's foolish, Evan, is an umpire worried about what two kids are saying to each other when one's walking away from another. Now, if you're about to have a confrontation, like when our freshman slammed his bat down after being hit by a pitch. If a home plate umpire wants to get between the catcher and him when they're jawing at each other, I get that. When a guy's walking away, now when you caught, okay, and you're a highly emotional guy, but yet you kind of kept it to yourself, but then again you didn't. You sort of played out loud and played with emotion. Did you ever talk to batters, and did batters ever talk to you?
It depended on how the situation went. You know, if it was like a serious game with full of emotions, usually there would be one or two guys on each team that needed to be brought back to reality of treating the game and taking care of business and not getting a little too outlandish. Now, most of the time, we have some people as well that would jaw back and forth, but you know, the way that these college games work, there's never actually going to be physical disputes. So you know, whenever these emotions are coming out, you know, for these umpires, they're supposed to be the mediator and make sure that nothing ever gets too out of hand. Do I think Cannon Beeble should have been tossed for what he did? Absolutely not. But it kind of reminds me of going back to whenever I was playing against the Notre Dame team. Drew Gilbert and Frank Anderson got tossed immediately because the umpires weren't going to have it. And it's like, you got to understand the impact that has on the teams, on the next games. And as an umpire, your job is to make sure that the game is going in the right direction and make sure that no one gets hurt, and being the judge and not being the judge, jury, and the executioner. And that's where I think some make mistakes and get involved where they shouldn't.
Evan Russell joining on our TLD Logistics Hotline. So our mystery guest has now entered the room here. Let me bring the mystery guest in here without further ado. Mystery guest, you're on with Evan Russell. It's a World Championship Wednesday presented by our friends at RK Capital.
Am I the mystery guest, Tony?
Oh, my gosh. Listen to those dulcet tones, man. Did you realize when you turned me onto this young man right here that you were going to blossom a budding broadcaster, Evan Russell? Did you realize that?
Oh, I had no question. I had no doubt that it was going to be successful. I mean, you're talking about a guy. If you went back and watched some highlights of the 2021 year, whenever we went to Omaha for the first time in, I guess it might have been 15, 16 years, our best guy on the mound that year was our Saturday guy, and it was your man Will Heflin.
Oh my God!
Willie!
Let's leave the compliment fest alone. Well, I've had
getting
enough.
some love
Evan's
on
great.
here, man.
You're great. You're great, Tony. Look, here's what I want to know. Okay, I want to know, Evan Russell, is this baseball team ready to go to Baum Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas? And are they ready to fight?
Uh-oh.
And are you, Evan Russell, Mr. Baseball's 2018 to 2022? Are you ready to fight from wherever you are, whether it's on your couch at home, in the stadium, golf course, restaurant, wherever you are, Evan Russell? Are you going to fight with Tennessee baseballs?
I will say this: if they are not ready to fight, they never will be. I mean, you've got a the vibes are high in that locker room. I've talked to some guys, I've talked to some coaches. The vibes are higher than they've ever been right now. They're getting some traction going. People are starting to understand that what the roles are and how they need to win any game. And I was telling Tony before we got on the show, I might be more excited about this series than I was last year during the National Championship Series. How can you write it up better than a Tennessee program going into an Arkansas program where there's a ton of history there, even going back to those head coaches. I mean, how many clips are we going to see going up to this game of Dave Van Horn and Tony Vitello getting into each other's face during that 2021 year? So, there's a ton of history. It's a huge rivalry, and you can't ask for any better stakes. So, man, if anybody's fighting, I wish it was me, but hopefully the guys can take the fight that I wish that I had and go in there and put it on them.
Well, here's the thing, right? Everybody loves flashpoint moments. That Vandy series that year, you're talking about that. That Arkansas game when Tony pulls his mask up and goes out there and is just, they're going after each other. And Tony's got his mask, and God knows what they said to each other. But, you know, there's a potential that you could see something combustible this weekend, because the one thing I've noticed about this team, and Matt Dixon was talking about it yesterday, they played some of their best ball when they finally put their hair down. And Matt was talking about the way Cannon Peebles started doing the Evan Russell thing at second base. And those guys kind of started leaning into, later in the year, sort of the bad boy side of things. In other words, if you cross me, I'm going to whoop you. That kind of thing. We waited all year to see this team show the kind of mentality that said, hey, look, if you want to come play in my game, you want to knock one near me, I'll knock your teeth out of your mouth. You know what I mean?
Yep, and there's two types of people whenever you go on the field. It's ones that are afraid and the ones that are not afraid. And for about 6 or 7 weekends, it seemed to me like Tennessee was putting a product on the field that was a little timid. But after this weekend, you could start to see a lot of confidence, a lot of emotion going in the right direction. And I think I can speak for everyone. We are okay with the mistakes. We understand that errors are going to happen. It is the urgency and the desire of wanting to compete and win that we ultimately all want to see. And we saw it this weekend, and look what happened. It was a great result.
Well, and when they play with edge, because here's the thing. Like if I ask, we go around the room, what in 10 chances do you give Tennessee this weekend? Brian Hartman, what in 10 chances would you give the Vols to win this weekend? I mean, let's just be honest about it. What in 10, Brian?
I'd give them at least a 1 in 3 chance to win. Probably you can inch that up towards 4 in 10.
Yeah,
Like we can all be honest. They're on paper. I don't know if they're supposed to win.
Exactly, and that's the point. So why not just be nice and fresh? Yeah, why not be fresh?
They're going into 10 to 11,000 screaming fans that hate every single one of them. It is going to be a tough environment, and if they go into that environment thinking that they're just going to, try to win and try to play the small ball and do all that, it's not going to happen. They've got to go in and they've got to be okay with being the bad guys, being the villains, and hurt some feelings. And if they do that, they might come out with it.
Evan Russell joining. Hey, Sean Sinclair, jump in with us today, the captain of the Vols on the show, rather.
No, I think Tennessee has a 50% chance. I give all the respect to Arkansas, their program, the stadium, et cetera, but that place has been a house of horrors for them, and the pressure to get him a national championship. They've choked on it past few years. I think the pressure increases on them. My question to Evan is that, Evan, last night or Monday night, it took emotional outbursts that were bigger than anything I saw from Drew Gilbert. They were anything bigger than Beck, telling him to shove it, running around, et cetera. Those were hyper reactions from Doyle and Fisher to get the team going, and it looked like it got them going a bit. What does it take as a captain to get? I know you were fiery, but you didn't express. My recollection is you didn't express it like that, or at least to that degree. Certainly after your grand slam against Vandy, et cetera. But what does it take to get that lineup fired up? Because it seems like we have a couple of bell cows that are very loud, and we have a couple of guys they're very good, but they kind of just go with the flow. How do you carry that intensity over to this weekend?
Yeah, I think it is super important for depending on who's in the lineup. I think you got a lot whenever you have a lot of freshmen that are getting plenty of at bats, plenty of innings, plenty of chances on defense. If you do not have a lot of guys that are showing like, hey, I would take the pressure off. I will be in the spotlight. That kind of relieves the freshmen on being able to just relax. And if you look at guys like Fisher going out there and saying, I want the crowd to be hyped. I want the advantage whenever it's me against the guy on the mound. Look at what it did to everyone around him. It looked to me like the swings were better. Everyone was on the attack, and they weren't just waiting on trying to fill out the game. They were taking really nice at bats. You even had that freshman third baseman Manny
Marin,
do something that I didn't think he was capable of doing, because hitting a home run backside as a young freshman is a hard thing to do, and you just see it start oozing out to everyone, and that's something that I picked up on early in my career. I got to play quite a bit as a freshman, and something that I was competing against more than with myself than I was against the other team was just the fear factor. And that's something that I recognized. I knew that playing it at an elite level that I wasn't used to, the emotion of being afraid and being nervous, that was overwhelming. So as an older guy, my job was to try to eliminate that. And if you look at the freshmen that were competing whenever I was there, Christian Moore, Blake Burt, Drew Beam, Chase Burns, all of those guys had great freshman years. And I think it was because they saw that no one around them was afraid, and it kind of just relaxed them as well to just go out and play ball. And that's just a culture thing. And I think if they keep developing that, they keep just going out and performing and trying to compete at a high level and really being aggressive, that's just going to ooze out to the entire team, specifically the younger guys.
Well, at the end of the day, the truth about where we are with this group is we've been waiting all year to see Tennessee baseball come back. And you know what? Sunday night, we were all like, uh-oh. Monday night, that place was lit. The team was lit. And it was back, man. It took that long stretch. Crazy thing about that sport is I don't know if you get to what we got to Monday night without having to going through that refining fire of losing 6 or 7 series. I think that team, in a way, had to get drugged through the mud to get a little bit of their fire back. What do you think?
I think so. And I've talked to some people. Definitely, they're not. This program is not complacent. The coaches staff is not complacent. None of the players are complacent. But just being on the air, hopefully no players listen to this. I think after the season that they had, being so young that they are, a regional championship after following up a national championship,
it's a great year.
Is a huge, huge success.
Yep.
So even if they go into this weekend and it's not very successful, I am very happy on how they finished up and competed, because this is a hard game. It's hard to do, and it's hard to repeat.
Yep.
Of getting programs back to a championship level season right after winning a national championship, and especially with how much turnover they had, it just shows that they still have the fire in the locker room. They're still going to come out and compete. And, I don't know if that's ever going to change at Knoxville, which is something I'm very excited about being a part of.
And the fans, like to Sean's point, when those guys started that stuff and the fans cued off of it, one thing about your group that you guys knew is that this place loves blue-collar spirit. That's what this place loves. And let me ask you something. So, because you had a taste of the pro ball and you were like, I'm not doing this. I remember you telling me that. You were like, there's a million guys in camp. They look like me. I'm not going to do this. And so when you first heard, and you're over the loyalty fund for the NIL with those kids and trying to help them with their day-to-day living and this, that, and the other. Because these kids compared to, like Nate Ament was there the other night. Nate Ament's making he's making twice as much as the baseball team is by himself. Maybe close to 3 times as much as the baseball team is. And I'm just speaking in facts here. So when a guy like Doyle, whose money days are in front of him, okay, says to Tony Vitello, I want the baseball. And you and I both know Tony doesn't talk just to talk. Like people, I know some people think, well, he says things in the media. No. When Tony says something in the media, what you're seeing is what it is. He's not going to say anything in the media. He's not going to say behind the scenes. It's just how he is. So, which is why he's so successful, I think. When you heard that Doyle said to him, I want the baseball, what did you think of that?
It actually blew my mind that I knew that he's a competitor. You can see it all over him that he's going to go out and he's going to want the ball and he's not going to ever turn away from competition. But a guy like Liam Doyle is sitting there looking at $4 to $5 million here in a couple of, I guess, about a month.
Yep.
And there's so much behind the scenes that he's got a team behind him that is trying to protect him and make sure that he is going to have a longer career of success in the major leagues. So, Tony is sitting there trying to balance. And this goes for a lot more than just Liam Doyle. He's trying to balance taking care of these kids, making sure that they are going to get what they've earned, but also trying to win games. And for Liam Doyle, he naturally wanted to get in there and compete, obviously. But for his team to understand how big of a moment this is and to allow that to happen, and what I mean by team is just the people that he has in his corner that are helping advise him. For that to happen, that's huge, important. That's very important, and it show. And not a lot of people would have allowed that to happen. So, hats off to not only Liam Doyle but his entire team of saying, we are going to give up being selfish and do what's right for the team and win this game, and hopefully it will benefit, everyone involved in it, and it has. And not only Liam Doyle, AJ Russell is also
same
in
thing.
that same boat.
Same thing.
I mean, these guys, and that's what it takes. And that's what it takes to win big time games and go deep in the playoffs. You got to have guys that are selfless, and that right there is the pure example of it.
And Doyle shoved. Like if I'm a major league team, I'm watching Doyle, I'm thinking, man, this guy could close for me because he looked like a maniac out there.
Well, I'm sitting there. I've watched plenty of guys. I've played with plenty of guys that are already in the big leagues. I caught plenty of guys that are already in the big leagues. He's a bullpen. He's a big league bullpen arm right now. I don't know if he's got multiple pitches enough to be a starter, but you can't sit there and tell me that the Pirates or the Rockies aren't licking their chops to try to get Liam Doyle to come out of the pen for them right now. You just don't see it. So for him to go out and show that he can do that, I think it raised his value tremendously.
The great Evan Russell taking a few. Ev, this week, Tennessee's got to kind of do to Arkansas sort of like now Notre Dame, they had kind of a veteran team and it was like a perfect storm what happened to you guys. But you and I have talked about this on the air that Sunday where there reaches a point in baseball, we see it at the pro level too in the playoffs, where it's such a pressure sport and a performance sport, yet it's a team sport. But it's a sport where, and the saying they use in that sport is, batters start gripping that bat tighter. Start trying to do a little too much. You had shared with me that on that Sunday that you could feel the oppression, kind of like, and you said, look, I'm not blaming the crowd because we lost a game, but the crowd just kind of goes, and it just sort of, if Tennessee can get the lead in the middle innings, and Sean Sinclair referenced this, their bugaboo has been this round in losing at home at Arkansas or losing sooner than this round. But really, those kids all know that. Some of those kids have been a part of that. But they all know. They all know the history. People can act like kids don't know. First of all, you do agree that those kids know the history, right? Those Arkansas kids?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And that's a situation. It happened to us, and it'll happen to them too if we go out and we just start throwing punches stay on them, the crowd would turn on them. And I actually don't think that the crowd turned on us.
Right.
I think it was more of like everyone realized, oh man, this is actually about to happen.
We're in trouble. You could see it. Like, it was
trouble.
like a slow motion. It was like there's somebody playing on the railroad tracks. The train's not moving very fast, but you cannot get to them and get there in time. You can just see that train. And it's not really – Notre Dame was not flying down the track that day, but it was just – that kid had the one lucky swing, Evan, and he did not even – he couldn't believe it himself that the ball went out of the park. If Tennessee in the middle innings can do something like that and get a lead in that first game, just something like that, and then come back with Doyle the next day, I mean, who knows here, man?
Oh, if they just stay aggressive, you know, and they just keep chipping away, and just stay on the aggressive side of taking good at bat. Even I don't care how the game ends up, it could swing back their way, even if there are 11,000 fans cheering for Arkansas, because everyone in there knows the history of it too, and they'll start believing that they're cursed or something, or you know that the baseball gods aren't going to let them allow it to happen.
Yes.
Because that's a real thing. I mean,
no doubt.
You start developing the superstitions, and everyone in there, if Dave Van Horn starts believing in it too, which he might at this point, it might filter throughout the entire locker room. So.
And one thing Brian Hartman, he was sharing with me before, which is this. You know, Tony comes from there. Those people act like they hate Tony. They know damn right well that Tony Vitello is a tremendous coach. He's a great recruiter. He's a force in the sport. And he had amassed so much talent there that they were a one unlucky drop, foul pop from winning the whole thing. But that's the sport. The sport's a cruel, unforgiving, just ignorant game at times. And Arkansas really has not gotten close to getting back into that spot since then. And all you have to do if you're Tennessee is just get to the middle innings. Kind of like we see with a lot of underdogs. Just kind of get to the middle innings. Hey, Wright State cracked Vanderbilt over the weekend doing that. They got a 5-1 lead. They held up through those middle innings. If I can get to the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and that team knows they're down to 9 outs, Evan, describe what that's like when you're in that locker, when you're in that dugout, and you know you only have 9 outs, then 6 outs to play with. It's
heavy. It's heavy. I mean, whenever something's on the line like that, if you can get ahead and not make mistakes and just keep throwing strikes, because that's where you let teams get back into games. Whenever, you know, it's never usually based on good at bats or good hits and stringing hits together, because most of those guys are starting to feel the pressure because they're starting to count the outs too. It's the defense and the pitching that allows those guys, the entire team, to start getting more loose at bats, start to get a little confidence and start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So as long as they just get out there, play their game, which, you know, unfortunately we haven't seen a lot of great defense from the guys yet. But, you know, if they can go out and they can just eliminate the noise and focus on playing baseball, I think they have a decent shot.
The great Evan Russell joining. Ev, you told your story on here about how when Tony first got here, you were going to leave because you thought, well, this guy's not going to keep me around. And he basically challenged you in a meeting. When did you realize personally that, hey, this guy's really, really different? This guy's pretty special. When did it dawn on you that, hey, with this guy could be really, really good at this?
Yeah. And basically, whenever I first got there, it was more of he didn't recruit me, so he had just gotten hired. We had I think 36 guys total on the team, and quite frankly, we were not good. You can ask anybody. The year prior to my freshman year, I think they won 7 conference games. And can you imagine what we would do as a fan base if they won 7 conference games this next year or here in the near future? It'd be total mayhem. But we weren't good. So, you know, he comes in and he starts starts recruiting like crazy because that's what he does. And I could start seeing, or I felt like I was seeing the writing on the wall. So, there was thoughts of me not be, and this is where I wanted to be, but, I also wanted to look out for my career. So it led to conversations, and all of a sudden I'm in a meeting with Tony Vitello, and he's basically telling me, I want to be here. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to have a career at. And if you don't want to be here, fine, go somewhere else. And at that point, I was willing to go through whatever it took to be here and try to make an impact and try to leave the program better than what it was. And you could already see that the coaches were not satisfied with where they were at, and they were not going to be denied of being a competitive force no matter what it took. And it was just clear.
Yeah.
You could just see it every day he was at practice that there was a different sense of urgency than I was ever a part of. And that's what, I think that's what the ultimate success has come from. It's just the urgency of wanting to be better tomorrow than what you are today.
Evan Russell with the loyalty fund has allowed us on Wednesdays to have kids on all year, and I wanted to get him on today and celebrate this season because we had so many great interviews on here and talking to these kids about their journeys. And it's playing Division I sports is tough. Playing baseball, I mean, baseball's an ignorant game because it comes and goes on you. Whether you're pitching, whether you're hitting, the fielding comes and goes. It all kind of comes. It's like a lot of things in life. It sort of comes and goes. At any rate, Levi Clark, in the middle of that losing streak, we had him on, and a lot of these kids just kept answering the bell and kept coming on, even when they were lose series. Just because I kept thinking, okay, that the party's going to end, because it's one thing to come on, and everybody wants to get patted on their back, but when you keep losing these series, and so I asked that young kid, I said, so how's Tony been during this, what I call skid? Because I asked Tony that question, called it a skid, and Evan, Tony totally snapped at me like on the air, okay? He said, you and your boy, I didn't know what he was talking about, but Chris Burke said skid to him over the weekend on the air before that. And he goes, you and your boy and skid. What is skid? What is, and I'm just like, oh, but anyway. So Levi Clark, what he said to me is, he said, I'll tell you something about him. He said, when we were 20-0, he acts the exact same way right now than when we were 20-0. He said, there is no change in him. Does that surprise you?
Oh, absolutely not. Well, maybe a little. My first year, I'll tell you right now, I feel like I was going through Navy SEAL training every time we had an off day or not a game day. So maybe a little bit because, man, the guy is super competitive. It spews out to his entire coaching staff. He will not hire a coach that's not super competitive. So, maybe it was. Maybe he was hiding it well, but you could tell that just talking to him, he likes to win a lot more than he likes to lose. So
he's a kook. He's nuts. Yes.
Yeah, he likes to. I think he likes to make sure that he's even keel around his players whenever there's times of uncertainty, which he understands that you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with young guys, mainly freshmen right now. Of trying to teach them, like, hey, baseball is a tough game. You're going to go through this. It's all okay. The world's not going to end, but you want to be playing your best baseball at the end of the year. So for him not to panic, that's number one of being a head coach, of being a successful head coach, is don't panic, and he doesn't. But deep down, I will tell Levi, he wants to win way more than he wants to lose. So he's just hiding it well, which is great.
On the way out, tell the living listener about the Loyalty Fund. I know you guys have a golf tournament coming up, and we've got a link on the website about that. But share with us just kind of what you're doing and what you're doing for the kids. And this thing on Wednesdays and you allowing us and trusting us with these kids, man. Thank you so much, brother. You have no idea in my heart, man. You have no idea what it means.
Yeah, and the reason we wanted to do that is just to give these guys a chance to talk a little bit, because everyone that's watching, including myself, I'm a fan. I like to know, are these guys good guys? Are or do they treat people right? And I fortunately, most people I meet in the program, they are good people. So, I think it's a good way to get off of Twitter and actually understand that the culture of baseball, college baseball, it is to be a competition and to fight. And people are, like Augie Garrido said in a famous video, people are fighting for your lives out here. It's not just a game, because people, their lives are being changed by how much success they have on the field, and everyone understands that. So to give people the ability to listen to these kids talk about who they are, how they think, I think it's important, because they're all good kids. They all handle their business correctly. And I think the collective is meant to show that. And I think that's truly what NIL is meant to do, is to help these guys off the field, to be able to give them the ability to relax and to perform for all of us. So that's exactly what the collective is meant, and that's what it's doing.
How do folks get involved with you, Evan, if they want to do that? And I really appreciate you taking some time for us.
Yeah, I think just reach out to me on social media. I'm all over the social media platforms. Try to get back to people within a couple of days, but that's the best way. Or you can send an email to loyalty43@gmail.com.
Loyalty43@gmail. Again, loyalty43@gmail.com. Hey, Ev, my best to you, my friend.
Yep. Thanks for having me on.
GBO, brother. Hey, GBO. Let's go to Arkansas. Let's kind of. I don't want to say shock the world, but let's put our best foot forward. It'd be a lot of fun to put some pressure on those dudes.
It sure would. Let's do it.
Thank you, brother. Good talking to you. Hey, Sean, there is no doubt you were in the house on that day of the Notre Dame game. There is no doubt that we as people are made of body, mind, and spirit. And, man, when you're in one of those stadiums and you can see, because baseball's like that slow train coming when you see that your team's not going to hit, or this other team's just whatever, outplaying you, however you want to put that. And, man, that crowd, because Georgie Boy Plaster and I were talking about this yesterday, because he goes to a lot of Braves postseason games, that crowd can sit right on top of a team, whether they're a college team or a pro team in that sport. That is a thing. Tennessee needs to put Arkansas in that position this week, Sean, and let that thing go to work on them.
Well, no question. It's, I remind people that Bargo had a big series there a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Hit 2 or 3 home runs, 2 in one game, I think. We, as we did, I don't remember exactly, but I recall that we kind of, in the 2 games they won, we kind of gave them the impetus through our sloppy play,
booting the ball around. Yep.
And that's on us. That's on us. But yeah, if you take Vandy, you take Texas, you take anyone, and it's not like we're Rocky against Dolph Lundgren. It's not like we're going in here with not even a puncher's chance. No, we're a legitimate team that did it last year, and if we can get the guys believing, if we can get the guys a break here and there, it's again, Andrew Fisher walks up the ladder to catch that errant throw from Dean Curley, and instead of having an inning that we regret, it's just an out. And so if we have a couple plays here and there, and then our pitchers start locating like they can, there's absolutely no it may be an upset, but it's not going to shock the world.
No.
Tennessee belongs here. Tennessee belongs in Omaha. And I can't call the shot, but I think Tennessee's going to represent. I certainly hope we do.
And the great thing is, because I'm going to echo you can call me a loser, and that's okay, or whatever you want to call me. They've done what they were supposed to do this year. Them getting to this round after winning a national championship, this is all icing on the cake from here. So why not just go play loose? Why not? You beat back the pressure of losing in your building to Wake, and you overcame a deficit to do it. And it took a Herculean effort from everybody involved. You were at it. You were out of pitching. I mean, the whole thing, you know. You had to have a guy come back on short rest to do it. Why not? Think about it. Why not? This Arkansas bunch, you get an extra day of rest. This Arkansas bunch, they're almost there to be had. Now, I'm not going to say Tennessee's going to do it because it's a crazy game. But you can if I was an Arkansas fan right now, hey, Bri, as an Arkansas fan, you imagine what they're thinking? Seriously. They might be blustering on social media right now. We're going to do this. In the back of their minds, Bri, if you can get a lead in the 6th inning on them, you imagine just somebody runs into one and you're up 2 runs. Say it's like 6-4 or something in that first game, Bri. You imagine what those Arkansas people are doing?
This would be a more bitter defeat for them than all of their recent early exits combined.
No doubt.
It would be the worst one by far. Worse than last year, worse than the NC State one, just due to the circumstances.
Yes. Yes. We come back on the other side, 865-200, 5402. To the callers, I see that you're full. Stay there. Watson Brown's going to join us on the other side. It's a Wednesday with Watson Brown presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. Once Watson departs, you'll have the phone. We continue with more after this.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM.
Translator W259AB.
Powell, Knoxville.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. 5th quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Listen up, baseball fans. It's time to step up to the plate and get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Don't you dare swing and miss by shopping elsewhere. Alumni Hall has the best selection, top brands for you to choose from. Shop in store, 3 Knoxville locations, or Bristol or Murfreesboro. Anytime online, anywhere in the world at alumnihall.com. Come grab your Tennessee baseball jerseys. Incredible. Oh, Coach Vitello's jersey, hats, decals, t-shirts, and so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 spent. Shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Go Vols from Alumni Hall. Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean, no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you. Not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing.
Attention Vol fans, are you tired of complicated, clunky fleet technology that makes your job harder? Say goodbye to frustration and hello to Connexial, your hometown partner in logistics. It's time to rev up your operations with next level fleet management from Connexial. Connexial is here to keep your business on track with technology that works as hard as you do. Our game-changing ELD gives you more than just hours of service. With AI-powered dash cameras and real-time asset tracking, you'll have eyes on the road, cargo, and your fleet from anywhere, anytime. And the best part, our friendly US-based customer support team is just one phone call away. No more long wait times or frustrating tech talk. Just real people with real solutions. With Connexial, you get a professional team you can trust and easy-to-use products that keep you on the road. What do you say, Tony?
I'm ready. Make the smart move and call Connexial today.
865-888-6920. Learn more at Connexial.com. That's Konexial.com. Drive life with Connexial and go Vols.
Basilio here, and you know my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range, and if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery, so you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Yeehaw! Some people say betting online is still the wild, wild west. But with the VIP Play app, you're riding with the best. VIP Play app is hotter than a $2 pistol packed with flair. Live hosts and features finer than a frog hair. Send your old betting problems out of town with a slap. You'll be betting sharp as a tack on the VIP Play app.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Jeff Hall here. I'm a partner at Rather Kittrell Capital Management. Life is full of transitions. planning for retirement, managing investments, or navigating major life changes. Here at Rather Kittrell, we're here to guide you through every step. Visit rkcapital.com or call 865-218-8400 to start your journey toward financial clarity today. Rather Kittrell is a registered investment advisor.
TB back with you, fired up, focused, and prepared from one legend to another. Evan Russell there with Chef Hall, and now it is a Wednesday with my man Watson Brown. We were just gushing with each other off the air, and now he joins us on our TLD Logistics Hotline. Watson, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats. And you want to talk about a sport, and I love all these sports. And I love Watson because he played them all at a very high level. And could coach them all at a very, the guy can converse on all of them at a very high level, unlike Kelly Holcomb. But Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, a beef brand built on quality. Watson, we were talking, when you see these kids, and you used to be an AD at Birmingham, right? And also at Tech. Tennessee Tech. When you see these kids.
No, Rice. I was AD.
Or Rice, I'm sorry. Rice.
Rice.
Yeah.
Rice and UAB.
My bad. When you see these kids get in the squared circle, and they're not afraid, and they execute in the moment, that has got to make you feel 25 years old when you see that, man. Right?
It's fantastic. And what I see, Tony, is a lot more equality. There's just not that big a difference in a one-game basis as there used to be. And I really think part of that is that now these kids are getting cost of living to go to school, and the NIL is showing up, and there's money being spent on all levels, and these kids are not now taking off to the minor leagues, and they're going to college first. And so you're getting much better and much deeper players. And I can remember being at Vanderbilt and go play some of these teams, the level of play that would drop off when we'd go play some of those teams during midweek games. I don't think it's the same anymore. And the power schools better understand that, because this is going to keep happening, in my opinion.
Hey, Sean Sinclair, you follow the recruiting in the baseball pretty closely. Like on Wright State's team, right? How many kids would they have that a Vanderbilt would even want? That's a thing. And then you got to beat them in a series. It isn't like in the NCAA tournament where, it's 40 minutes, you don't shoot the ball and you go home. In this deal, I'm playing in your building. Inevitably, I'm going to have to go through you twice. Now, Vanderbilt, it was only once because Vandy lost the night before to Louisville. But the point is, still, I had to continue to win and fight you in a loser bracket game in the case of Wright State. Sean, that sport, that is wild how so many of these teams broke through in this tournament.
Well, remember, baseball recruiting's a little different. A lot of those kids commit as sophomores. So certainly Vanderbilt was recruiting a different athlete than Wright State at that time. Also, baseball recruiting doesn't have a whole lot of decommitments and flips unless there's a head coaching change. But what Wright State and schools like that can have is they can have 4 and 5 year guys that have worked their way up, that have paid the price, that have seen a bunch of pitches, that have been in a bunch of situations. And, a team like Wright State, we always used to think, a team going to Vanderbilt, a team going to Tennessee. No, all these teams play big teams in midweek games. They're or pre-conference tournament series. They're all very familiar with some of the best stadiums and the best atmospheres around, even if not an SEC conference weekend. So it is interesting, but it's not so unusual because those kids, they're just not afraid. They've been in these high pressure leverage situations for a long time. And I hate that Vanderbilt, coach. I hate your team there. Let's just say Texas. A situation like Texas, with Texas San Antonio or one of those teams, it was kind of refreshing, kind of like kind of like a Darling getting through the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 in basketball.
Oh, that San Antonio thing. I was asking Watson off the air because he spent time in that footprint. Those San Antonio kids all read and hear about those Texas kids all the time. Like the Texas dynamic in that state and the way they just eclipse everything. And their baseball program is as regal, Watson, as regal can be. Those people there don't even start watching the deal till the postseason. They don't even come to the regular season games. If you watch, I mean, I'm telling the truth, right? They're used to winning.
Well, and I'm telling you, there are certain guys that are better on the quote Texas team than the San Antonio team. But there's not that big a drop off after 4 or 5 kids, and probably 3 of them pitchers. But there's not the big drop off after that. And I'm going to tell you the other thing is the bat changed many years ago from the wooden bat to this, that lighter bat, man. It just, you catch up with those 95, 94 dudes, and it's not as big a deal as it used to be, in my personal opinion. And there are also more guys throwing in the 90s. There's not more throwing 95, 96, 97, but there are a lot more guys throwing in the 90s. We'd go play guys when I was playing in the 70s at Vanderbilt, and we were catching 85 to 88 guys during midweek. And it might even be one of their better pitchers, because a lot of people would try to use their better pitchers for 2 or 3 innings against us and still think their arms would be good enough for the weekend. Now, those guys at those schools are throwing in the 90s now. They're not throwing 85 to 88 anymore. And the lighter bat and seeing everybody can learn to hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that's a player, that's a good enough player, is if you keep seeing it enough. But if you don't see 90s but till you get to the NC2As, you can't catch up with it that quick. But if you're seeing it anywhere close to 90, 91, 92, and then you go see 96, 97, you can catch up with that. I'm telling you, it's just the game has gotten a lot tighter, and I don't think there are as many as going to the rookie leagues the same way. I can remember when I was coming out, you go to I was going to have a nice bonus because I was going to be drafted early, but the salary when I got to the rookie leagues, man, it wasn't all that good, and so you kind of start over at that point. And these kids now you're not getting money in college. Matter of fact, you were on half scholarship or something. And all these kids now, pretty much scholarships are paid for in different ways. So it's just there's a better player out there. And the difference in attitude, Tony and Sean, coming into the series, Vanderbilt ranked number 1. I thought that was a kiss of death. When I saw that, I said, "Look out, boys!" And it was everybody else coming in just loose as they can be. Let's knock off number 1, man. Look what the chance we got. So it's a complete different mindset, in my opinion. And the SEC schools that handled that moved on. The SEC schools that didn't handle that kind of pressure got knocked out.
Well, one thing I want to shout out to you, because as a coach and just as a human being, one thing I love about this sport is when you see these guys that are blood and guts players, like this Carrington Cross kid from the Cincinnati Bearcats. He ended his season at 396. He was in the batter's box twice at the end of when they were getting eliminated by Wake Forest on Sunday. And at the final time, the coach that he stayed to play for his last 2 seasons there, has only been there 2 years, Cincinnati, started crying his eyes out for this kid. Crying his eyes out. Could not hide it. In the dugout. Tried to turn his head, but, the cameras, they catch at. And they knew that this kid and this coach had a special relationship. Watson, the essence of college sports is we see the athlete for a brief period of time. That time can fly by. That guy obviously was crying for that kid because the finality of it. They were getting eliminated, but that's not what he was crying about. He was crying for that kid and the bond that he has with that kid. And that 5th-year player, Carrington Cross, who was the player of the year in their league, but played the game so hard, played it with such respect. I love a kid like that, and I want to celebrate that on here. But I'm going to ask you this. Have you had kids in your career where when you see that they're walking off the field for the last time, the finality of it just gets you, and you just get emotional. Does that happen?
Oh, Lord, yes. And I'm going to tell you when it happens the most in playoff sports. And I was in the playoffs in football, so I know what that means. And you're so excited to go play that game. You've had a good year. You're not there. Everybody's upbeat. You can't wait to go play the next game. And then the finality of it when you lose, it just hits you right between the eyes. And that's when the emotions really, really start popping out and especially if it's a close game and you lose right at the end, it is just so hard. I've watched it in basketball for years and years and years. And just because that's been the playoff sport, then baseball got into the playoffs deep, and now football's into it. And good gracious, any way, Tony, that we can keep that in college sports, we need to work to do that, because I worry so hard about they don't have the pride. I've talked about it on this air many times. You got to have the pride and the T on that helmet, man. That's still got to be number one. Somehow, some way, that's still got to be number one. And I just hope and pray we don't lose that because of all the financial pieces that are coming into play.
I was talking to Evan Russell about this a little while ago, who wore it on his sleeve, and I kind of call him the captain of the Volunteers to this day. But Evan was saying that the other day when Tony Vitello said that this Doyle kid came to him and said, "I want the ball," on Monday night, Evan was shocked. He said, in this day and age, here's a guy that's a top 5 draft pick. He said, I'm surprised his team, meaning agents, advisors, trainers, because these people are big money products now when you get to that level. When you're about to go top 5 in the draft, because it isn't your first deal that's a big deal. Your first deal make you wealthy by the world standards. Your second deal makes you generationally wealthy in Major League Baseball, and you have to protect that. What about that kid going to that coach and saying, I want the ball, and not only getting the ball, Watson, but acting like a total madman, like he's been here for 5 years, and just shoving in the moment? What were you thinking when you were watching that?
Well, I don't want to lose that. I want to keep seeing that, and Tony seems to be good at bringing in those type players. I think that's been one of the hidden things he's good at, is he brings in these kids that fall in love with the place and are competitive as they can be, and will basically do whatever they got to do to win for the Orange. And he finds those kids, and I don't think that's talked about enough. But the other thing to me is that's a victim of environment. That tells me that he's been raised to compete and win, and his parents are right there beside him. There's no way if they hadn't okayed that.
Yes.
But I promise you, they were right with him. Go, son. Go for it. Go win this thing. It's too important here.
We had a fellow from Arkansas.
We just got to keep that, Tony. We cannot lose that. And that's what worries me the most. I talk about it on here all the time, and I'm a glass half full guy. But that's the one thing that scares me about college athletics is a lot of times when you turn something that's not amateur and it's professional, and college sports is now professional, especially on the revenue sports. It's professional more, and I just hope we keep that amateur piece to it.
And that's why the Doyle thing is just, it's just amazing.
It's fantastic.
It's crazy.
And that's why, to me, I thought Tennessee would come on, because they have that type of mentality within their team. Doesn't mean you're going to win all the time,
right? By
any means. But
sure.
When I watch them play, and a lot of people say, "Boy, they got a bunch of arrogant." They're representing their teammates, and they're excited to do something good. And I know where that comes from. It comes straight from the head coach, right through the leaders of the team, and it popped up again this weekend in a very hard-fought series to win. So that was no easy series to win. The competition in their region compared to some of the other regions was night and day. So that was a toughie, and they made it through it. And I believe this is the series. if they win the series at Arkansas, they may win the whole thing again because their mindset will be completely different going to the College World Series. So this is the big one coming up. They got past the tough one, and now the big one's in their face.
All right, now we got to the meat of the topic. As the great Conzo Martin once said, making an omelet. And I got to remind you, beef brand built on quality. I'm talking about Simpson's Meats. I'm talking about Jim Simpson's got a family farm since 1888. And they are bringing meat from farms that are on pasture, on purpose, comfortably continuing a tradition that began in Jim Simpson's farm. In fact, whether it's steaks, burgers, sausages, roast chicken, variety of local offerings. They've got a butcher shop where they also have milk, honey, and jam and eggs and more. And I've had so many people stop out there. They've got a special event coming up on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, there. A special event on Friday. I want to encourage you to go to simpsonsmeats.com and check it out. They've got a special like food truck meat tasting event, kind of an open house, sort of a thank you to you, the living listener. Again, simpsonsmeats.com. They're located West Knoxville off Level Road. And if you want to buy in bulk, they've got half and quarter cows. And remember, with Father's Day right around the corner, you can ship meats anywhere in the world and treat Dad. And Dad, if you're listening to me and you've been waiting and you've been like listening to us, hey, tell your familia, hey, treat me to some Simpsons Meats on Father's Day, and you'll come back again and again. Watson, am I lying?
No, Tony, what a great opportunity. Here it is, free. Go taste it, man. I'm telling you, after you eat it, you're going back again. So don't pass on this deal for dag, I'm sure. Go taste it and not have to pay for the first one you get, because you will see a difference as soon as you taste it. I can tell you that.
Hey, Cinco, great Sean Sinclair. Watson Brown just brought something up I want your thoughts on. And I haven't even considered this because I'm not even considering getting past Arkansas. He said, woe to that side of the bracket if this team gets out to Omaha and really gets comfortable. Sean, Vegas has been telling us the whole time that these guys have the goods. Is Watson Brown right? Is he right? If they get through this thing, is he right, Sean?
If they get through
Arkansas,
again,
if they get through Arkansas, woe to Omaha, brother. That's what Watson Brown just said. Let these guys really get comfortable and grow into this season the way they grew into the end of that Wake Forest game the other night.
Well, I think that I think it'd be fair to say that if they get through Arkansas, they should be considered one of the favorites. I with all due respect, I still think there are holes on this team. I think there are some things there are some, and I think Coach would agree, there's some vulnerabilities here, that the margin's so thin in Omaha that you really can't gloss over. You just have to hope you can hide them. But yeah, I mean, you would think that you would think that locker room got a turbocharge this past Monday. If they can go into Arkansas and take care of business, that can only add to it. But Coach would know better than I am. I mean, he was an elite athlete and a very, very good coach. But shoot, yeah, why not? Favorite, one of the favorites, yes. And then hopefully the guys just go play ball.
You know what's nutty, Watson, about Tennessee? And you mentioned this. Wake Forest gave Tennessee their best shot. And they got some kids that can flat out hammer the baseball. I mean,
they're good.
Hammer I don't know how they ended up with the record they ended up with, because they can flat out smash the baseball. Here's the thing, though. You mentioned this before. I want you to build on this. Tony is in a spot right now where he could have the pick of the litter, but he seems to go after a certain profile of player.
Yeah.
You mentioned that before. Unpack that. What do you think he looks for when he's looking at guys, when he goes out, say he's scouting down in Atlanta, or they go to the Cape Cod League, or maybe they're looking at film of guys?
I think he recruits.
I'm sorry.
That's what I think he does.
He recruits what?
He recruits to his personality. And he just goes to look for that guy that loves to play. I mean, when they had that in the other night, I'm going back and forth. And by the way, this college softball's been fantastic.
Oh, the softball has been nuts.
You, if you haven't enjoyed that, I'm going back and forth watching Tennessee play and Vanderbilt play and Ole Miss play, and then I'm watching the softball.
Oh, it's great.
I believe I'm having about as much fun through that.
It's been so
good.
And
I happened to turn back when Tennessee had the big inning and hit those balls, those bombs. There is an excitement within that team that seems to be a little more than other teams. That's probably unfair of me to say that, but that's just kind of what I see. It's when things get going with them, they are just so excited. And I think they hadn't had that all year.
Yep, I agree with that.
I thought they've had so much heat on them of living up to the past, which is really hard to do. And I think for the first time, the past is gone. The past is gone. They're headed to the Super Region. They're underdogs going there. And if they'll just keep playing the way they are, I think they'll go in with a complete different mindset to the World Series. Now, I'm not sure that I'd pick them right now in Arkansas.
Oh,
Arkansas is really good.
I would not pick them.
They're really good.
I agree with that.
And so I'm not saying they're there yet. I'm just saying if they were to get out of there, I just think the mindset is a complete different than it was 6 weeks ago. And a different mindset with this team is what they win on in Tony's years past. He wins on good players.
Yep.
Because he can get good players, but there's a mindset with them. And you got to beat all of us, man. You ain't just beating me. You got to beat all of us. And they're just a very close group. And they have been. And I just think that comes from their head coach and what he brings in as a player. He's not, I don't think he brings in ego guys that believe in themselves and pat their chest, but he brings in team guys. They're going to be team first, or I don't think he's going to keep them around long. And then I think it rubs off down to the young ones that walk in the door, and it's just a mindset that they have. And I think that's why it was so hard on them this year. It really wasn't the Tennessee mindset I've seen in the last few years early in the season.
Got to grow into it.
You got to grow to it, and
or own it at some
pressure
point.
Is. I'm telling you now, when you're Vanderbilt playing Wright State, to get a chance to go back and play Louisville again, that's pressure. I don't care what you say. Some can handle it, some can't. But you're a number one seed playing somebody that they don't know where the school is. And they know they're pretty good. Vanderbilt knew they were pretty good. I love what Tim said after they got beat at Louisville. And he said, well, when you get back to Louisville, what kind of pitching you going to have? He said, get back to Louisville. We got to get through Wright State. And that's all I'm thinking about right now. He knew that team was a good team with pretty good pitching, and they just couldn't hit the baseball. And what did we say last week, Tony? Pitching, defense, and timely hitting.
You better be able to hit it.
That
was the thing that was going to get.
And that's it in college baseball.
And you knew that about Vanderbilt. You told me a couple weeks ago, you said, look, it's great to win these games, but when you get to the postseason, you better have a couple guys that can hit the ball out of the park.
You got to have hitting today.
And you got to have some hitting.
Yeah. With those bats the way they are.
If you don't.
And you're seeing 90-mile-an-hour guys all the time.
Yes.
You've got to hit the baseball, and you've got to score runs to win. You're not going to win 3-2. They won a lot of games late in the year, 3-2, 4-3.
Yes.
They did, and we're good at it, and came back to win a lot of those. But I just said, I don't see enough hitting here. I don't see enough hitting to get the quick runs like when Tennessee hit that inning the other day. That was special to me.
Hey, Bri, take us under wings here with this Arkansas bunch, because as we visit with Watson Brown, this Arkansas bunch is going to be playing themselves mentally here this weekend. Tennessee's got to put them in a spot to do that. That's my theme this week. If Tennessee can put them in a spot that Wright State put Vanderbilt in, you got to put these teams in that pressure cooker and let that pot just kind of, you can just see it kind of boiling on Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt, you could just see they were going to crack. Bri, tell the coach how difficult it's been for Arkansas to get out of their deal. When is the last time, Bri, they won a super regional round in their building? What year was it?
I think it was 2018 when they went to the College World Series and went on to almost win the whole thing. And you had the pop-up that wasn't caught, and the game was tied immediately, and then Oregon State boat raced them the next night and won the title. They got so close.
And Watson, they, since then, have advanced one time, and they were on the road when they did it. Since then, every time they're in their building, and some of the teams that have beaten them there, like, did you guys tell me yesterday, Brian, Southeast Missouri State did it one year? I mean, they've lost to some.
Yeah, that was a regional. Southeast Missouri State and Kansas State
Kansas State, Watson.
That was 2 losses.
In the sellout, in that sold-out crowd, and they found ways to lose in that building. Do you think that current players take that history onto the field if the Vols can get a lead in the middle innings? Do you think that pressure gets back in there and that all that, here it comes again, here it comes again? Do you think that's real in sports?
It's real. Some handle it well, some don't. I don't. I don't have any clue if that had anything to do with this series this year, because I just don't think this team. Their pitching's fantastic, but I haven't felt like they had the hitters to make it all the way.
Oh no, we're talking about Arkansas. I'm talking about Arkansas right now.
I thought you were still talking about
Arkansas. 2018 is the last time they advanced out of their building. They've been in their building, and so isn't that interesting? And so now. It's mental,
man. Yeah, it's real interesting.
Yeah.
It's real interesting, and I can vouch for this because I remember being at UAB, and we had started the program. We jumped into Conference USA. And so our 2 rivals were Memphis. I've told this story. I'm going to tell it again. The 2 rivals were Memphis and Southern Miss. The first six times we played both of those 2 were the top teams in the conference through a lot of that time. We played Southern Miss. Both were rivals for us, big rivals. Not 3-4 hours away from us. We lose to Southern Miss, then we lose again, and we lost 6 in a row by a touchdown or less. At the same time, we play Memphis the 6 times. We beat them 6 times in a row. And I think it just kept growing and kept growing. And I do think there's something to that. It's the same. Pressure is the number one thing in sports. If anxiety gets in you, you're not near the player you are. I feel it in golf all the time, man, and it's the way you feel at the time and what you're dealing with, and the good ones can find a way to do it. And I think that's a plus for Tennessee because they get to be the underdog, but they know going there that Arkansas hadn't done this in a while, and they know that's going to be talked about. They don't even have to talk about it. It's going to be talked about. And that's why I say they can be not as talented and yet come out of this thing. But guys, Brian, they got to get off to a quick start.
Yes, sir. You got
they
it.
Have got to get. They lose that first one, or they don't get off to a good start, and they're not playing well in the first game, and then that kind of can go away a little bit.
And
so
to Sean's point,
got to get off to a quick start on Saturday.
What this team's got to do, guys, is play a clean first 5 innings, Sean. If they make Arkansas earn it, hey, great. This team, Cinco, cannot boot the ball around. They cannot do that because they will not live to talk about it. They'll go two and out if they don't play cleanly down there. And that's a fact with my hand up, as a great Titans Bill likes to say. Hey, Watson, on the way out, I love you. You're a gentleman and a scholar. You've been absolutely incredible, and you bring the meat every time you come in here, my brother.
Oh, thanks, sir. I always enjoy it with you guys.
Hey,
it's always a blast.
Call the shot. Is the baseball season continuing next week when we talk on here?
I think so. I think it's going to be one heck of a series. It's going 3, and it's flat going to the wire. And I just think Tennessee's going to play a little different than they played during the year. That's what I think. And I'll be disappointed if I'm wrong about that because I think it's set up now for them to take the next step. Even though Sean's right, there are flaws on this team, but there's flaws on every team. I mean, you get to this point, man, you got to play good. You got to play good the rest of the way. There's no give-me's from here on out.
I love you, man. Thanks, brother.
Talk to y'all.
The great, I love him. The great Watson Brown on your TLD Logistics phone line. Bride, does Watson Brown fire you up and make you smile when you hear him talk? Because I have people tell me that. He just makes them smile.
Yeah, it's been a hour and a half long smile fest with Evan and then Watson Brown coming on. And I'll say this, if that thing gets to a game 3, I think Tennessee has the edge.
Well, yes.
Arkansas needs to if they don't win in 2 games, if it gets to game 3, I like Tennessee's chances better and better.
Dudley Dawson told us that yesterday. He said if this thing gets to 3, Tennessee has a decided edge because Arkansas has 0 answers in day 3 pitching wise. He said their Friday night guy is very good. Gage Wood's very good. He said they get to that 3rd starter, it will be. He said it'll be open season. I'm telling you guys, this thing is going to be, if we can get them in the spot. It's a big if. It's a big if. It's a big ask. But if we can get them in the spot, man, this could be. Whew. I love that sport. And he was talking about the softball. That Lady Vol team should be playing in this championship series right now. That's a shame. And I don't know much about that sport, Brian, but they should be there. Because that Oklahoma team we knew all year was not that great. Texas Tech stood up to them and eliminated them. They lost another game. They really lost 3 games out there if you think about it. If you put that girl on base and just pitch the next batter, you're getting through. That's a shame. That's a real
appeared
shame.
like a very missed opportunity, and Oklahoma's not going to sit there and be. They're going to be better next year because I think I heard somebody say they've got some pretty good players coming in. So that was your chance, and you've got the best pitcher in the sport going for you, and it just seems like that program misses opportunities to really win a championship.
And they've had that since.
But they're always in position. They're always in position to do so, but it feels like they have you have to draw comparisons between Karen Weekly and Dave Van Horn. I mean, they're always in position.
I think that's right.
But they just can't get over the big one.
And Tennessee's got to make that got to make that sing this weekend. Got to make that sing. As it is your Basilio show. Let's get a brief timeout in, then the calls and the fun, the frivolity, heading for a TLD Logistics Overdrive overtime. No doubt about it. Remember, Willie and the boys following Saturday's game, Saturday early evening, and then Sunday afternoon, and then on Monday, God knows when that game will be. Because there will be a Monday game. That thing's going to be wild this weekend. So we continue with more after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
It's back. You asked for it and you got it. All You Can Eat Wednesdays is back with your Knoxville Smokies. The most delicious Wednesday dinner. All you can eat pulled pork, hot dogs, Bush's baked beans, Uncle Ray's potato chips, popcorn, Pepsi products, and more. Is anyone else getting hungry? But we aren't finished yet. This week we've also got Thirsty Thursday, Princess Night and fireworks on Friday, 90s Night and the Toy Story game, and fireworks on Saturday. And our Sunday day game is a huge mascot party. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Peace of mind is priceless, especially when it comes to your home safety and your family's comfort. That's why the pros at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling created the Peace of Mind Maintenance Plan. Preventative maintenance for HVAC and plumbing is like changing your vehicle's oil, and experts recommend scheduling regular system checks to keep everything running smoothly. With Peace of Mind, you can safeguard your home from unexpected costly breakdowns and repairs. You'll get tons of benefits, including full system checks on HVAC and plumbing systems, water heater flushes, sewer camera inspection, 10% automatic discount on repairs, priority bookings, no service fees, and much more. Monthly service plans are as low as $20.25 per month, and total annual services are valued at over $1,500. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to sign up or schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hi there, Basilio crew. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. If you're thinking about selling your home, I've got good news for you. The East Tennessee and Knoxville areas are projected to have another strong year. I'll be happy to talk with you about the latest and greatest info you need. So give me a call at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. Hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Advent. Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. Believe that. As we welcome you back on your Wednesday edition. He's SEAN Sinclair DDS, beautiful Maryville. He's with us today. Brian Hartman's in the house, who's reigned supreme on the blog over at tclub.team. I mean, Brian's been shining like the sun in the middle of the day. Yay. And now joining us, and then we'll go back to our phones, but real briefly here, my man, Eris with my Knoxville Smokies, who are in the midst of a 12-game homestand. Eris, this is how many days in a row for you without coming up for air on the 12-game homestand?
8 games, 8 days.
When does Eris get snappy? When do you start getting, as Laura says to me, don't have that attitude with me on the TLD Logistics Hotline? When does Eris start getting snappy?
You know, it really depends. I am a morning person just overall. So I think it's more coming towards the conclusion when we're probably like in the 7th inning, probably sometime tomorrow or the next day. We got a big Friday and Saturday coming up, and there's a lot of moving parts. So hopefully all of those are going in the right direction. But if they don't, that's when I will boil over.
Well, yeah, it reminds me of Mike, because you love baseball, and we all love, that's why you're doing it. And we all love sports, but it reminds me of the old VHS tape my kids used to have when they were young, where Elmo wanted it to be Christmas every day. And Elmo soon learned that, getting stuff he got bored with it. He was like, what am I doing? This is like rotting my brain over here. And they were trying to teach the kids a lesson. Too much of anything is sort of unhealthy, but there can never be too much Smokies baseball. So talk to me, big boy. During this 12-game homestand, what do we have planned, and where will you set up my autograph booth tonight as I make my debut appearance at our new baseball stadium?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I actually have you in the field tonight. You'll be between second and third. You'll be shortstop tonight, dude. So everyone will get to see where you are. Autograph meet and greet. I have you starting at 6:45 to 7 o'clock. How does that sound?
Well, I'm sure we'll have I'm sure somebody will accidentally get in line, come by and go, "Who's that? Is that Andre Agassi?" That's what I'm looking like these days. At any rate, the great Eris with My Smokies is joining. Tell me about the week, brother, because we got a lot going on.
Yeah, dude. Well, we got beautiful weather in the forecast, mind you. All those rainy days are gone. So, hey, you haven't come out to the ballpark yet? Be like, come to the game tonight. It's Wednesday, all-you-can-eat Wednesday. So it's an all-you-can-eat feast taking place. Tickets are still available right now. All-you-can-eat pulled pork, baked beans. Of course, my favorite, hot dogs and whatnot. So gates open up at 6 o'clock. First pitch 7 p.m. tonight. And then we got a great lineup here, bro. Tomorrow is our racing night at the ballpark.
Race fans. Tell me about it.
If you have not seen online, go ahead and visit us online, SmokiesBaseball.com, or on our social media, at Smokies Baseball. We are doing a die-cast car giveaway. First 2,000 fans through the gates. And these are awesome, dude. These are like little Hot Wheels type shaped cars. And I've got these cars made up from the same company that's making the collectible cars in Bristol. You know how we're having that baseball game there in Bristol, the Reds and the Braves? So this is the same company that's made those collectible cars for the Bristol the baseball game in Bristol. We have inaugural season Smokies cars that we're giving away tomorrow. Really neat, highly collectible. These are one of a kind. First 2,000 fans through the gates. And we're going to have 4-time NHRA Funny Race champion Matt Hagan here throwing out the first pitch, meet and greet on the concourse. I mean, there's an opportunity to win tickets to the Bristol race and baseball game tomorrow. So much lined up, and that's only Thursday, dude. It's also Thursday, so half-price draft beers.
Would you ever get behind the wheel of a top fuel funny car and just take a pass in one?
I definitely would. And if it's my last day, then I've lived a full life.
Well, I grew up a drag racing fan. We used to go to Englishtown, New Jersey. I'd go to ACO. We would go to Maple Grove. We'd go to all. You remember hearing those, and that's where I got this thing, because back in the day on radio, they'd have those things going, race fans, top fuel funny cars going 365 miles an hour. You know, that whole thing. And so that's where I got race fans. But you got to be a nut. Those top fuel funny cars can go in speeds exceeding 330 miles an hour. The fastest pass ever was set by Brittany Force, who went 341 miles per hour. These cars will go 0 to 100 in 0.8 seconds. And that's what that gentleman has done for a living that's going to be in your park tonight. You got to be a maniac to do that. I'm sorry.
It's really hard to believe, and people just overlook it, man. Like, people just bat an eye to it. It's like, you understand what this dude is doing? No, you definitely don't. So.
No. I mean, come on now. And, of course, it would take a woman to go the fastest out there. If you ever drive on I-75, well, never mind. On our TLD Logistics phone lines, Eris is joining with My Knoxville Smokies. All right, my friend, tell me about it. What else we got coming up? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Rice fans.
Friday night is Princesses in the Park. It's a fan favorite. Great opportunity to bring the little gals to the ballpark. And, the kids young at heart as well. We got your favorite princesses on site. Anna, Elsa, Moana, Belle, Cinderella.
Brian's a Belle fan. Brian likes Belle. Just a shout out to Belle. All right, continue.
I'm a big fan of Beauty and the Beast. So.
I love Beauty and the Beast.
Fireworks after the game, of course. And then Saturday is our 90s night. Fan favorite. It's been on the calendar all year. People have been circling it. Real exciting. We got Toy Story themed jerseys the players are going to be wearing. We're going to have Buzz. We're going to have Woody. We're going to have Jesse in attendance. Pretty awesome stuff. Playing throwback jams. I guess you could say they're throwback with the 90s. All night. We have a post-game concert. And we got fireworks. I mean, this is the night to come out if you haven't been so already. This Saturday, 90s night.
Are you a Buzz Lightyear fan, as my son Anthony used to call him when he was a little kid? He called him Buzz Lightyear. Are you a Buzz Lightyear fan?
I think I'm more of the Woody type of guy.
Woody was next level.
So,
hey, Sean St.
I
Clair.
think he's character.
Let me ask Cinco this, and then I'll ask you, Iris. Favorite 90s band, Cinco? Do you have one? 90s band. Little past our prime, Cinco. Favorite 90s band, do you have one? All right, seems like Cinco's away. Eris, do you have a favorite 90s band?
Well, he's just thinking about it because there's so many options to choose from,
Who you going?
I'm a big Soundgarden fan.
Nice.
I like Soundgarden.
Nice.
I like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nice.
And of course, I can rock out to some of the cliche pop stuff like In Sync. Totally fine with that too.
Well, shout out Andy Anderton, 98 Degrees. I like Gym Blossoms.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my favorite 90s jams. Of course, Hootie and the Blowfish were hot there for a hot minute. Crack Rear View, everybody had it. Great Darius Rucker. Eris, you're my man. If people want information, hit it.
Hey, Jealousy.
Hey, Jealousy. What a great jam.
Anything that you need. All the information about Smokies Baseball is online at smokiesbaseball.com or visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Smokies Baseball. Tickets are going fast. This is a beautiful ballpark. If you haven't been out here before, what are you waiting for? B's going to be here tonight. We'll take a photo. We'll take, a couple shots if you want to. I know you don't go crazy that often, but we'll have a great time. And, join us. Be sure to come out here soon, guys. We got plenty of opportunities for you to be here. It's game 26 of 69 this summer, so plenty of opportunity to come out.
Thank you, my man. Take care.
See ya.
And he appears on your TLD Logistics hotline. Check him out, smokiesbaseball.com. And if 6 turns out to be 9, I don't mind. Because if all the hippies cut off all their hair, I won't care. Go back to our phones. Brian Hartman, do you have a favorite 90s band on the way out before we go to the phone?
Green Day.
Yes.
And I like Hootie, and I like Tom Petty, some of his stuff that came out.
Oh, the Petty stuff in the 90s was great, man. No question. Great era. That's a great era of Tom Petty music. Let's go back to our phones. A lot of great music in the 90s, in my humble opinion. IMHO. But if you have a favorite 90s act, lay it on me here in the spirit. And when we get into the TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, perhaps we can Perhaps we can wax poetic on it. Let's go to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You are on the air.
Hey, Tony, Brian, it is Taylor. If Evan Russell is not the captain, ambassador of all things baseballs, I don't know who else is.
He's a captain.
Sorry,
he's a captain.
He's a captain. He's a VFL. He's well-spoken. He's articulate. I don't think there's anybody better at breaking down Tennessee baseball and giving an inside scoop than the captain. He's next level. He's outstanding. He's all the superlatives, Tony.
And I'll tell you this about him, because people act a certain way on the air and then off the air they're a certain way. He's an even better guy off the air, and he loves. And Taylor, stay right there. He loves those kids. Loves them. Counsels them. Helps them make good decisions. It loves them. Just like my guy Mark Griffin. Loves the athletes. Loves them. And I'll tell you, and before, during, and after with Evan. Evan loves guys before, during, and after. Some guys will love you during and before. But if you love on me afterwards, that means you're on my side when I can no longer do something for you. And that's Evan Russell. Loyalty. Check him out. I got to do this. To the radio listener, I love you. I appreciate you. The fun frivolity continues here at tclub.team or wherever you find us. Check out the blog today. Brian Hartman's got all kinds of great nuggies in it. We'll go over a few of them here in a moment. But we love you. We appreciate you. We thank you. We support you. Tomorrow we're back. John Adams will be here, but listen anyway. And we love you. We appreciate you. Peace. TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime coming up as we continue to kick it around.
WJBE 1040 AM, 99.7 FM. Translator W259AB. Powell, Knoxville.
And hopefully not boot it around, but just kick it around. You know what I mean? Not boot it around, but kick it around. There's a difference. Brian, you know there's a difference there, right? Between booting it around and kicking it around?
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Is there, Brian, a difference between booting it around and kicking it around, or is it the same thing?
I don't know. I think it's the same thing, but I wouldn't want to do either one of them.
Today's edition of TLD Logistics
We kick it around on
Overtime.
here. We kick it around with the greatest of ease. Taylor,
on the field, that is.
Taylor kicks it around. We kick it on here. Talk to
Tony,
me,
I
Tim.
booted a few balls back in my day, too, but that's a whole nother story that no one wants to hear about.
But we kick it around here, don't we?
Yeah, we kick it around, Tony. There's no doubt.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Tony, Brian, if anybody's not checking out TonyBasilio.com, tclub.team, they're missing out some of the best everyday reading to stay close to all things UT. But your baseball coverage between you, Matt, and Brian.
How about Brian right now? He is on a heater.
He's in Fuego.
I mean,
He's
what the hell?
800.
Yeah, he sent me another report for tomorrow. Brian Hartman.
He's hotter than Andrew Fisher.
Brian, what's gotten into you, man? What do you love? Why do you love this so much, Bri?
Something about the postseason and football, not football, but baseball, basketball. Something about this tournament is just speaks to my innermost, I guess, how do you say it?
Your being.
It speaks to me. It speaks to my soul, I guess.
Brian, this thing, I think, is better than the basketball tournament right now.
I think in some spots, yes.
And that's hard for me to admit, Taylor, because that basketball tournament's crazy.
I look forward to this as much as the basketball. It's almost like a second basketball tournament.
It is. You're exactly right, Brian.
In all due respect, I think it's better because I think Cinderella is dead and gone, and basketball has become a chalk tournament. But I was wrong. The baseball tournament, Cinderella is alive, breathing, reincarnated. She's been cloned. It's unbelievable, Tony. When you can see the Goliaths go down to the Davids repeatedly in the regionals, it truly is a beautiful thing. As one of your callers so eloquently stated the other day, how can you not be romantic about baseball? My goodness, what a beautiful game the college baseball game is.
You know what's funny? We've had so many people say that Tony Vitello's era, they grew up baseball fans and just sort of turned the sport off after all the strikes and the labor strife. And hey, look, when you're major league, when you have a major league in this country and you go on strike 3 or 4 times in somebody's lifetime, and they want to walk away like in '94, I totally get that. I don't blame anybody for that because that's like you can't get your act together. So I'm gonna find something else to do at my time. And once I find something else to do at my time, I learned that I can do something else at my time. And I thought I needed you, but I really didn't. It's kind of like a bad breakup or something. But then they come back to this thing and they find this and they're like, because Sean, you know what college baseball feels like to me? And I want your thoughts on this because you were on the inside of this. It reminds me of college basketball, college football rather, before all this conference movement stuff. The college football in the 80s, Sean, that we grew up on, that was all about the sport. That's what this reminds me of when I watch college baseball.
If I hear you right, and there have been blips, Southwest Conference, Notre Dame stuff, etc. But if I'm hearing you right, you think that when you watch college baseball, it seems more pure than the nonsense we're seeing from basketball and from football.
No question. And here's why.
And
go ahead.
Well, let me hold on a second. I agree with you because I think that everybody in basketball and football has a place at the table, and I can understand their arguments when they each try to litigate stuff for themselves, for the betterment of the sport. It's I get all of that. They're all right, yet they all don't get it. But baseball seems to be less perverted in a way, and it seems to there still is a love for the game that has taken. I don't even want. You didn't ask for this. I haven't read one football recruiting article that's come out about the Vols in the past 2 years. Doesn't interest me. I haven't read one thing. In fact, a buddy of mine, you were talking earlier about at the baseball game this weekend, Nate Ament walked by, and the person I was with said, "Man, look at that kid. That kid's tall. There's the number 2 player in the country who signed with Tennessee." And my friend, who's a sportsman, said, "Man, look at that kid. He's tall. Who's that? What is that?" It's taken away. So yeah, long-winded. I totally agree with you. When I watch baseball, I see a more pure product than the others.
And here's the thing, guys. Would a guy that's a top 5 pick risk himself the way this kid did the other night in those other sports? Would he? I'm asking. I don't know
Tony,
the answer
it could be
to
the
that.
national championship football game, and a kid would opt out if he was going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. We're probably going to see that in basketball before long too. A top 5 NBA pick will opt out of the Final Four. I don't think that's ever going to happen in baseball. I got a little cynical, Tony, when I saw that 2 of our Broadway premium portal guys were third-year players, and we were their third team. I was a little cynical, admittedly. My gosh, they both proven me wrong. But what Liam Dole did, as Evan Russell so eloquently stated, was one of the most team-oriented, unselfish displays of competitiveness that I've ever seen. And I'll tell you what, Tony, most coaches, I bet 90% of coaches would have been turned off by Liam Doyle when he played against Tennessee. I was at the game. He shoved. Fisher hit 2 home runs. But anyway, when he was yelling at Tony at the dugout saying, "Do you want me now?" I guarantee 90% of coaches would say, "I don't want that guy. That guy's a clown." But you know what? Tony recruits people that have the competitive fire that he has.
Yes.
He obviously saw that in Liam. And instead of going, that guy's a clown, I don't like him disrespecting me, he put his ego aside and goes, "No, that's exactly the type of guy I want. I want a guy that's hair is on fire, that is passionate and wants to win." And that's Liam Doyle. And he's got me more excited about college baseball because he is the epitome of an unselfish player that wants to compete. It's refreshing.
It's crazy. It's insane. I mean, what he did the other night, in my 35 years of doing this, or however long, 31 years of doing, in my 30 years of being here and doing this, that's got to be one of the top 5 just guttiest things I've seen. And not only did he pitch, guys, he pitched like two and 2/3 innings and rocked your clock, Cinco. He didn't just pitch. He wasn't out there holding on for dear life. He was going downhill like a steamroller, James Taylor.
You talking about Liam?
Yes.
No. He didn't. No, look, he didn't pitch. When I was watching it, it looked like Andre the Giant walked into the ring and just started cleaning house. It looked like to me, Daddy's home, problems over, it's on. And because you looked at it, I watched the body language of Wake Forest, and when he was Ric Flair walking around the mound with the blonde hair, it's appropriate. When he got up there and just was pumping stuff in, you could see Wake Forest fans knew it. They started leaving, even though they were only down, they were still down, but it wasn't insurmountable given our history. And when he started popping off and just feeding it to him, I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, I know Babe Ruth called a shot. I know Kirk Gibson had his immortal thing in the World Series. But for my eyes, in 50-plus years of sports, I don't recall a guy taking control of a situation, and there's not a thing anybody could do about it.
And for this team of all teams, Taylor, to give us that, this is the last team I thought would have that moment this year, the way they looked at times, T. Let's just be honest here.
Tony, they've been very flat. They've been very conservative. They've been extremely understated, and they've played very professionally. But that's admitted. Sometimes it was a little boring. It was a little stale.
Yes.
I still appreciated it. They were 16-14 after winning the Natty, so that wasn't lost on me. But you know what? We got to see two Drew Gilbert moments. We saw Drew Gilbert reincarnated as Liam Doyle, and we saw Drew Gilbert reincarnated in Andrew Fisher. The body language, the swagger of those two Monday night, and then backing it up 100%, I mean, was truly remarkable. If you can't get excited about baseball after watching the confidence, the swag, and then the ultimate execution by those two studs, former roommates in Oxford, I mean, I don't know how you have a pulse if you don't get excited about that. It was a ridiculously incredible, outstanding, next level performance by those two, and then you add a true freshman, Manny Marin, to the mix. Just a remarkable performance.
T, thanks. You're the man. 865-200-5402. Sean's right. I was like trying to think about, okay, in other sports, okay, you got Al Wilson against Florida. I'm not going to let you lose in 98. But just that energy, that presence, that hulking up thing that kid was doing, and he was out there pitching on adrenaline. And here's the thing. I know Tony has detractors. People say, well, you suck up to him and blah, blah. I criticize him when the time comes. I mean, I piss him off. So there is that. But the story his buddy told me the other day at Calhoun's was that it got down to Doyle and Holman season before last. Season before Tennessee won the national championship. And Tennessee chose Holman. You can't take everybody. And Doyle was coming from Coastal, and he wanted to pitch in the SEC. He really wanted to pitch here. So he took the next available spot in the SEC, and he ended up at Ole Miss, where he roomed with the guy that hit the home run the other night. But the real story is, and Taylor referenced this is what he's talking about, when they played at Mississippi, he was lights out against the Vols. Okay? And he's striking people out, and he's got his hand over his glove, or maybe he didn't, and he's screaming at Tony the whole game. Just screaming at him. And Brian, most coaches that would piss him off so bad, they go, I despise that kid. Tony told his buddy, he said, I got to go get this guy, man. I got to go get this guy. We got to get this guy. If that guy wants to come, that guy can play for me any day of the week.
And it might have been a blessing they didn't get the Holman kid who they chose over Doyle that year, which is ironic about it because of the dynamic that they had in winning the national championship eventually.
Everything.
Well, if you remember, the way it went down was that we had no sense running anybody down, but we know what happened with the Holman and his parents and all that stuff. And they go out and they get, because of that, he goes, I'm not dealing with this situation. He goes out and gets who? He goes to California and gets Stamos. Stamos, was he Holman when Holman was at LSU? No, he wasn't. But you know what he was? He was a Friday, usually Friday or Saturday opener. So A.J. Causey didn't have to open because A.J. Causey couldn't manage starting the game. He could come in at the second batter or the third batter, but for whatever reason, he just couldn't handle that. That's not my opinion. That's what they said. And then it caused him to promote a kid that couldn't keep his hat on most pitches during a Tuesday or Wednesday night game, who became your lockdown Sunday starter, and then just freaking bossed the national championship game. So, he, instead of acquiescing to a family for big money. He chose a different route, and he's wearing a ring because of it. And whether it's that or whether it's reading a kid screaming at him and not taking it personal and say, man, I want that part of that fire. That's what makes that dude. You know, he's the same guy that'll rip the fans. I don't take offense to it. He's the same guy that 2 or 3 times a year will rip Basilio, cause TB to take some shrapnel or a stray, as you say. But I'll tell you what, he's the best in the business. And I'm sure darn glad he's wearing orange.
Yeah, he needs to keep when he's at a press conference.
No, I like it.
He needs to keep my damn name out of his mouth. Okay.
You need to look, Will Smith. You need to pipe down. It's fun for all of us.
Back to the phones we go. It is TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Langtrade Cinco.
Oh, there he is. I let him breathe. Hello and welcome in. Shout out TR. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Tony? Joshy.
Wings.
I get to call up that idiot.
Do you have any idea how good right now, dude, the seeded watermelons are?
They are really out of this world, as you like to say.
My boy Josh is in the produce industry.
For the uninitiated.
For the uninitiated, let me tell you something. That watermelon I bit into last night. I've been eating on it's 2 days ago. I've been eating on this thing for 2 days. This thing weighed about 60 pounds. And man, when you get a good one and that thing is crunchy and delicious and it's got the seeds in it, it's real. I'm talking wow. Let's keep it wow.
Did you share any of that with Tony Valls, Tony?
Dude, I would love to have Tony Valls come over and feed him some watermelon. No question. God, it's my boy right there.
Oh.
It's my boy.
Hey, Tony, I don't know if you heard my call on the postgame show Sunday night with Will, but I was fired up, focused, and prepared after that win.
You had what I would call a laser-like focus about you out of your front windshield, brother. You weren't looking back. You weren't looking to the side and using your peripheral vision. You were looking straight ahead, brother.
Yep.
And taking names.
Hey, Cinco, what do you think about the Arvidsson kid coming out of the bullpen? He's been a big surprise this year.
Shoving.
Wow. Shoving.
Cinco there. John? What happened to Cinco? Cinco, are you there? I think we've... Arvidsson,
yes,
Cinco.
No, I'm sorry. I couldn't get my mute button to work. This Discord and I don't get along.
Interesting.
Oh, you're good.
What about Arvy,
Yeah.
Cinco? What about Arvy, Cinco? What do you think of Arvy?
About the Arvy kid this year, Cinco? He's been a big surprise, shoving, coming out of the bullpen.
Gosh, I just can't hear you. The who kid?
Arvidsson.
The Arvidsson.
Arvidsson. Well, I think that his past 2 outings he has, I think I don't like to use the D word, but I think as a disappointment. But I think I think he had a very unremarkable and a rather underwhelming season up until the past 2 things when whatever has caught fire, and he's just been electric. But yeah, it's and you know what? It's time for, frankly, we need that from Tanner Franklin.
Yeah,
we need that from a couple of other guys if we want to go to where we're going to go. We need let's get real here. Geez, I know I'm going to be the heel, but it is what it is. I mean, Tony was probably looking for Nate Snead and Dean Curley to be dudes this year, and they haven't been. As Tony says, I didn't do it.
Yep.
But we need those 2 to be dudes. Because if they become dudes, I mean, you're talking about 2 guys that went to USA team last year. First team preseason All-Americans. Those 2 guys would hardly play last year from what they're doing this year. Again, I didn't do it. Don't hate. But we need those 2 to step up. And we need those 2. You know, we got 2 transfer guys, and Keelan's to a certain extent. They're the ones carrying the flag, man. We got guys in here that have been here 2 and 3 years that are watching first-year guys carry the flag in front of them. Step up.
True. Yep.
If you disagree, let me know. I mean, but I can't be more impassioned than that.
Yep. Hey, Tony, I want to break down the last out from Liam Dole from Monday night. I thought the first two pitches he threw were strikes. I meant the last two. Then the last call on the strikeout was a ball, but the umpire gave him the strikeout. What do you think on that last strike that should have been a ball?
I think sometimes an umpire's got to take a piss.
Yeah.
And that might have been the case there, man.
Yeah, could have been.
I've been there, done that, brah. When your bladder's got to go, that's a strike.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are going to say, Tony, start Liam Dole game one, but I think we should do like we did against Arkansas this season. Start Marcus Phillips game one, and if you win that game one, you're going into game two with Liam Dole with the closeout. What do you think?
Hey, Brian, is that in fact why Tony Vols dodged us today? He did not want to disclose. He knew he would come on here and disclose his pitching plans for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but if they did that in the regional, Doyle could not have closed out game 4 against Wake.
But you know what, Brian? He's got to give him an extra day, right? He can't let him start Saturday, right?
And I think that's what's the break is that they got to play Saturday first instead of Friday.
Yeah.
Because 4 of them start Friday.
Because I'm not.
So that's a huge break for the Vols. Doyle can go in game 1.
Tony, you're my guy. I'm not trying to crack on you, but that's why you wouldn't come on here today, because you knew you're weak for me, brah, and you would have just given it up. You know you would have, because you'd have just come on here. I'm sodium pentothal of Vitello.
Yeah. Tony, out the door, I know you don't like caller-on-caller heat, but I'm going to rip 2 people. 2 weeks ago, before the tournament started, you asked Brother Bino, can this team get to Omaha? And Brother Bino didn't give you an answer. Well, Bino, what kind of a fan are you if you're not going to answer the damn question? And for you, Polly Joe, you come on Sunday ripping this team after the loss. What kind of fan are you too, brah? Come on, stop hating on Tennessee. Stop being negative. See ya.
Go! Bino, stop being negative, Bino. Stop hating on Tennessee, Bino. Talk about calling an ace and a spay, and remember to have your pet spayed and neutered. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Yo, Tony, it's Zach. Anytime, what's up?
Zachy, what's up, man?
Hey, man. So for 90s music, I don't know if you ever got into this group, but Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Band.
Scott Weiland's insane, dude.
Weiland was amazing, and then they had a guitar player and bassist brothers from up near your neck of the woods, New Jersey. They're called the DeLeo brothers.
And the DeLeo wrote that incredible riff on that song that's in C-sharp minor, which has escaped me right now. I think it's called Interstate Love Song.
Yeah.
That is a great song. I think it's in C minor or C-sharp minor.
It is. It's in C. Well, it's in E, but yeah.
It's in A, right? But it's on that. It's that riff off the C-sharp minor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really great song. It's in E. You're right.
They had all. They were kind of Bowie-like in their career. They were on Atlantic Records, and the guitar player, Dean DeLeo, is very just like Jimmy Page, who was also on Atlantic Records. Dean DeLeo is very Jimmy Page-like. So if you like Led Zeppelin, you'll love Stone Temple Pilots.
Cinco, are you familiar with Dean DeLeo, who I've seen on there with our boy Rick Beato, as we call him,
Beato.
Cinco? I've seen him interview. I've seen Rick Beato interview DeLeo, and those two guys both do my paisans very proudly. Cinco, what do you think of the DeLeo guy? Are you familiar with him? I don't know.
Must have checked out.
Yeah, must have just punched out. You know, you punch out on your punch in, you punch out. You know what I mean? They say that too when you're mixing records. You punch in, you punch out.
Yeah. I guess he just punched out. We'll maybe we can drop him in later.
I did not realize that the DeLeo brothers were the core of that band, because Weiland got all the credit, and he had the issues. And is Scott Weiland still with us or no?
No, he passed away in 2015, and that's the problem with 90s bands like Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. All the lead singers are gone, and so
they lived the gimmick, didn't they? They really lived the gimmick. Yeah,
they bought into it a little bit too much. So but on the baseball vault.
Well, on another note, you're a big James Taylor guy, right? So I've read several biographies on Taylor. I had no idea that James Taylor was so hooked on Smack in the 70s. Like when he did JT's my favorite record he did. I think it's one of the greatest documents of music from beginning to end of anything I've ever heard. I mean, just that thing is incredible. And and the Smack problem that he had at the time, and just how in various times and the way he's fought mental illness in his life, and a lot of that seems to be behind him, thank God. But wow, man, was he in the throes of it back then?
And that's the crazy part. All of his, the core of what's on his greatest hits was made while he was a heroin addict. And then, I think he transitioned to methadone. But then after he got off that, he had to deal with cocaine and alcoholism. And he finally got clean when he was like 45.
Wow.
So, it's never too late.
Well, I was listening to an interview one time with Jackson Browne, and they said to Jackson, they said, so why don't you write late music like Late for the Sky anymore? And why don't you write all the, he said, I don't do drugs. He said, if you want to, he said, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not in that state anymore. And I thought, God, man, that's just these guys for their art. The price they pay for their art. Jackson Browne, I'm going to tell you something. The stuff he wrote in the 70s, these were incredible. Like 200 years from now, songs that people will listen to.
Yeah, they're all-timers, and he wrote things that made other artists, like the Eagles and Linda Ronstadt. He wrote things that, he was kind of almost like a Lennon or McCartney, where he would write something and let one of these other groups kind of play it. And it would take them to the stratosphere.
And they said that Geffen kept him when he was 19 years old and had him like off in his like a little side room in his bungalow. And there's little like young Jackson Browne back there just kind of writing tunes. And he would say, hey, see this kid right here? One day he's going to be a big star. And people would look at him and go, that guy?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's pretty cool though? You know what's pretty cool about this is the if you've seen it, but Billy Strings does a rendition of Running on Empty.
Wow.
Oh.
And Billy Strings, you can like it or not, and that's fine. But he's drawing big crowds.
Yeah.
And Running on Empty is a lot of times part of his set list. And there was a recent, you can find it on YouTube, where the two got together and did this song together.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
and it's like, look, I'm not, again, I'm hoping, if you remember back in the day, Aerosmith had their thing, and then they were fading through a lot of their own fault, a lot of their own off the field nonsense.
They were really messed up. Yes, that's right, off the field nonsense.
And again, you can like it or not. That's okay. But the catalyst for Pump and all those other things was Run DMC, putting them on MTV and introducing everybody else to Aerosmith. They got a second life and just became kings. And go take a look at that, because it's great. You're right. Everything about Jackson Browne, it shows with Billy Strings paying homage to him, sitting right next to him on stage, and they're collaborating in that song. It's wonderful.
Well, young Sarah Burns, I was playing music with her recently, and she's moved to Atlanta now, but she's 24 years old. She's playing all these 70 songs. These kids now today are finding all that music, guys. They're finding all that music. And the reason
because of Steely Dan.
Well, the reason they're finding it is because it's great stuff.
Yeah.
Like we grew up on great, and the reason that stuff's great stuff is those guys grew up listening to jazz and big band music and stuff that had real substance to it, like the chord changes and, I mean, no offense to modern country music, but that stuff, man, no offense. People are not going to be listening to that stuff 30 years from now. They're not.
Nope.
They are not. No offense. No, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the stuff that took thought and took a lot of crafts work to put together. And like when I listen to that back to this, when I listen to that Stone Temple Pilots stuff, I'm like, man, these guys were searching for stuff. Like that stuff took time to write and put together. And it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat when you think about it.
Really jazzy, and the chords that they used were very, they were kind of, in another level. It wasn't just.
Well, you take a look. Everyone wants to look at Scott Weiland, but the DeLeo brothers, they're the geniuses. They were in an era of, and again, no offense, in an era of Pearl Jam, and an era of Soundgarden, the great rest in peace Chris Cornell, and all those guys, etc. The DeLeo brothers were doing something a little different.
Yes,
and it's not always recognized. So I'm glad you said that.
Well, I'm glad to be able to say it. I was just gonna. Josh kind of stole what I was thinking was
about Bino.
Well, that Bino needs to kind of come correct and be a supporter.
Yeah,
he needs to be an athletic supporter, and but I'd like to see him maybe roll Doyle out there in game 2. That's probably not going to happen because of. I think if they were playing at home, if they had this at home, it might happen. But, I've been kind of not on the baseball balls, but my Braves are so abysmal this year, and they're playing up here in Bristol. And we bought tickets last year for like $100 a piece. So I've been watching baseball balls, and I've kind of gotten into it a little bit. So this is something I'm hoping, happens for this team, because they're my salvation from this god-awful Braves thing.
That Braves team, that Braves team, they're straight up brutal, brah.
It's awful.
And I feel sorry for the kid from Knoxville, because he comes back off that surgery. His stuff, pitching at mid-90s, is not going to work at that level.
Nope. And maybe it's a topic for a different day, but these guys that are throwers...
he's not going to work. It's not going to work.
You can't learn to pitch a curve when you're, in your third year in the majors or fourth year. You got to be able to. And I don't know, maybe hit guys like him and I don't know, maybe like DeGrom. Maybe I don't know if guys like him getting injured will make people in youth sports rethink teaching these 17-year-olds to throw 100. But I sure hope it happens. But it is fun to watch guys like Doyle and Ben Joyce and the Tennessee Rockies out there. I think the Rockies have 3 or 4 balls.
Yeah, but the thing about those hard throwers though is they all eventually blow. It's just the way it is, man. It's just a matter of when. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
And Spencer Strider, what a talent. But since he's come back, I don't know if eventually if you gain it back. I don't know how that works. But I saw him with the Phillies last week, and then last night I know he got kind of smacked around a little bit as well. It's very, very difficult in that deal when you're used to blowing people away, and then your stuff's coming out 5-6 miles an hour slower, and then you have to pitch to kind of location, and maybe your spin rate's not as great. I'm not a pitching. I don't know enough about it to be dangerous, but I know enough about it to see, wow. I tell you what, hey, Bino, I'm betting on you. Friday, you clown. Because we're going to be at Calhoun's on the River on Friday celebrating another Tennessee baseball weekend. And I know the Vols are on the road, but we're going to get together just to celebrate the moment. And so, Bino, when I bet on you, my first bet of $5 or more, I can get $100 in bonus bets over at VIP Play. Also, Week 1 NFL lines are out. Futures are live. College football NFL season's fast approaching. You can get a 10% profit boost on any NFL Week Game 1 right now. Remember, they also have a specials live in the specials tab They've got exclusive bets to VIP play members. Go there and check it out. You got to download the blog, download the app rather, see what I'm talking about. And they've got a sweepstakes going on. End of June, somebody's going to win. You get an entry per bet. You get an entry per every dollar you bet. 10 times the entries on parlays, and they're the parlay max because when you get to it, 25% on your Major League Baseball parlay profit boost, 3 picks or more. NBA no danger wager with the finals here. 50% stake back if your bonus bet loses. 20% on the NCAA baseball tournament profit boost bets, 3 picks or more. And if you listen to me on Friday, you cashed a big ticket because we hit on our parlay. I'll have another suggested parlay coming into this weekend. I'm surveying the landscape right now. 200 leagues, always live. Numerous types of bets, props, options. If you rode this French gal all the way to her spot in the semifinals, you've made a ton of money. I don't know if you guys have been following this, but the player that was number 364 in the world has knocked out 2 top 10 players in a row, gets Coco Gauff in the upcoming semifinal, and Coco Gauff will melt down. And this gal might have the game to melt her down because this gal hits lobs. She hits it. She's got an incredible forehand right now. And she is the French people. The last time she took the court, it was half empty. Today, the thing was jam-packed. Jam-packed. And she is gone from she had won 1 match in her career. 1. And she's won 5 in a row now to get to the spot. 6 times she's been there. You can get action on her over at VIP Play. 200 leagues, always live. Everybody gets treated like a VIP. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. Bri, have you seen this gal, this French lady, who is absolutely balling right now in the French Open?
I just haven't had the time. I have not. Just the bandwidth and the time just hasn't matched up for me right now with that.
When she faces Coco Gauff, who I love, by the way. I love Coco Gauff because she's just so unique. She has this, like, kind of crazy personality. I live in a tennis house. My home is tennis fans. Ordinarily, I don't have the bandwidth for it either. There's a lot of things I wish I had the bandwidth for. I don't. Women's softball is one of those things, Bri. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. Now I'll watch it in the tournament because it's a cool sport.
Regular season, no, but tournament, yeah, I kind of pay more attention to it. Then if Tennessee's involved, yes, but when they go out, it gets knocked back there a little bit for me. My interest kind of goes.
I want to see Texas
with their
Tech.
exit.
I want to see Texas Tech beat this Texas bunch. I think they will, by the way, in the championship series. We'll go back to our phones. We'll get our last call in. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
Feel this.
You caught me eating, but anyway.
What are you eating?
Everything bagel.
Not bad.
Pretzel chips.
Nice.
And smoked Cajun chicken salad.
Okay, so I'm going to eat a little turkey wrapped in a wrap that's got a little pizza sauce and some cheese on it on a low carb low carb wrap deal, and I'm gonna eat a couple of those. So you can go ahead and eat, man. You're among family here, Brian. You go ahead and eat. What are you washing it down with, Sammy, in the Ridge?
A little high quality H2O, brother.
There you go. Nothing like water on a hot day, brah.
Yeah, I'm working, and it's I got to drink water. I'll fall out.
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, you can you get dehydrated, brah. It's not good.
Real quick on the music note, you know what just is mind-boggling to me is to think about the artists that that you lose early in that deal, like a Jimi Hendrix, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Amen. The 27 Club.
And and Shannon. It's Shannon Hoon, correct? The kid from Blind Melon.
Oh, my gosh. What a talented guy. Was he a member of the 27 Club? I know that Cobain's a member of the 27 Club. I want to say the gal Winehouse is a member of the 27 Club.
Yeah.
You talked about Jimmy. You talk about Jim Morrison's a member of the 27 Club.
Otis Redding.
Otis Redding's a member of the 27 Club. That's wild. I mean, these are people that they didn't even live to see 30. I mean, let's think about this.
Could you imagine the amount of music they would have made?
Oh, my gosh. What would Jimmy be doing right now? If Jimmy was still with us, he'd be making, like, incredible. He would have done some insane, like, jazz stuff, crazy stuff. No question.
It's unreal to think of. I mean, man. So I was just going to put that in there, dude. Blind Melon is up there for
Shannon
me.
Hoon.
They were amazing. Tony, I tried to get in with you, dog, Brider, a few times. I was on hold, and then I was on hold. You went to that clown from Fayetteville. No, I'm kidding. That dude's good. Real quick, so it's TR. Is that his cousin out there in Vegas that calls Will? I don't know if you've heard this guy, but this dude's a trip, bro. He's talking about, I don't know, it'll always resort back to like, man, somebody's going to get their ass beat out here or something like that. But dude's a trip, man.
He's like a cab driver or something, right? He calls.
Well, no, I think he's a comedian. He said.
Is he? Okay, and he's listening to like Willie doing the post game. Brian, did you hear the other night when Jolie Poe, which is what Will thinks Paulie Joe's name is, Jolie Poe? Because Will asked me afterwards, he goes, you know this Jolie Poe guy? And I played dumb. I go, I have no idea what you're talking about. I denied you, Paulie Joe, if you're listening. I went back and listened to it. So Jolie Poe, what's his name, Bri? Jolie Poe.
Jolie Poe.
Jolie Poe came hard at Will, okay? Because he was talking to this guy in Vegas for like, and it was sort of an interminable phone call. No offense to anybody intended. And so what's his face said, listen, Jolie Poe. He said, I know you're new at this, man, but and he really went hard at Will. He said, but you need to learn how to cut people off. And I knew what was coming, Brian. I knew. He said, really? I need to learn how to cut people off? He said, goodbye to you. He cut him off. Jolie Poe! Jolie Poe!
He said, you're out of here.
Yeah, he goes, you're out of here to Jolie Poe.
It's interesting that he didn't call after the wins, though. He only called after the loss.
Well, that's the thing. And
at least not that I heard. Did he call after one of the wins?
I don't know, but Nega Dave's always there. Nega Dave's in the rain, sleet, shine. He's the postman category.
Yeah, he's waiting on hold for an hour to complain. Listen, shout out Paulie. Paulie,
yep. You're a great caller, Paulie. We love you, Paulie. Yep.
And yeah, how big a boy are you? I've heard that
he's a pretty big guy. Okay, I want you to look up the wrestler Dick the Bruiser. Because he looks just like him. And I am not lying to you. I'm not lying.
I got a public service for Paulie. Paulie, do not turn into a Karen caller like your boy Nega Dave and Mark in Columbus. Come on, Paulie, be better.
What? Hey, I love Nega Dave, and I love Columbo.
They're Karen callers, Tony. Listen.
No, they're great callers, man. Come on now.
They are. They know their stuff. They do, but man, they know how to,
they know how to needle you.
Lighten the mood.
They know how to needle you. Needling,
darken the mood.
But needling people is, that Columbo. That Columbo. Look, I needle people for a living. That Columbo guy can get under my skin. I'm upstairs, and Laura's like, "What? The guy really got to you? Did you hear him?" She goes, "Tony. So what? You get to people all the time. Just relax." I love me some... Hey, Columbo, for the record, I love you, Columbo.
Hey, and speaking of needling people, brother, the other day I'm rolling down the road tripping out. You said to your boy Florida, you said, it's just business as usual, buddy. You're losers.
Well...
Shout out Florida.
I love Florida, but Shout out to our new caller, Jolie Poe. Brian,
Jolie Poe. I hope
Giant, are you?
Yeah,
Brian,
I hope we hear from him soon.
Are you a Jolie Poe fan, Brian? Because I love me some Jolie Poe.
Yeah, he had a great phone call.
Will said to him, "Is that so?" He said, "You need to learn how to use that button, that dump button." He was already ripping our baseball team. I knew Will was going to melt down. I knew he was going to melt on him. And then he asked me afterwards. We were setting up in here afterwards. He said, "Who's this Jolie Poe guy?" And I go, "I don't know, man. I've never heard of him in my life." I denied you, Paulie Joe. I denied you.
Now, were you supposed to have Andrew on today?
Andrew Mack?
Andrew, the Freak Show.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah, I reached out to him, but he never got back. Those guys get busy, man. Just the way it is.
Right. Well, that's understandable, man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But speaking of a Freak Show, and that, that coach, I'm sorry, Tony, but I will disagree with you there. I mean, granted, he's over there in his dugout, but come on, man. That's not right. And in this day and time.
Listen, I'm not defending anybody saying anything. I'm saying to everybody that wants to cancel and fire people over things that come out of their mouth, let's all just take a breath here. My reply is, we're all humans. How many of us have ever said something that could get us fired? How about every single effing one of us? That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, you're right. You're right on that.
I am not going to defend a grown man having things like that come out of his mouth. But let's not pretend like we all haven't done certain those types of things, whatever they are.
Well, right. Well, definitely. But in that kind of vein, listen, Tony Balls, what he's done, and Bino, hit the nail on the head, which is just, it's kind of unbelievable what he's done here and what he's created. And, for these people to count him out, like, that's all this team needed. The guy's a champion. His guys are going to be ready at the end of the day. And you talk about a Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher, and just, he has guys, brother, that's beating down his door that want to play for him. You go out and rip a guy's shirt off and damn armbar, club him in the back. The guy is just fantastic. It's what we needed. When we lost Bruce, it's kind of like that. Listen, you bring these kids in, money isn't everything. They want to win, a lot of them. And to be able to have fun doing it and play just, yes, obviously he has discipline, he's not a champion. That is there, the guy. But these kids, and that's, I think, where you have the championship pedigree, is it's finding that balance of discipline and being able to just let it all go and have fun and play to the best of your ability. And Tony, I was going to start off the call with two words, feel this, brother. But listen, the coverage, Brian and Matt, and hell, I call him Will the Thrill, but
is he not excellent?
Tony, it's been phenomenal, man.
I turned it over to him. Do you know how much faith? Ask Brian Hartman how much faith I have to have in somebody to turn it over to him. Brian knows me. I'm a control freak. Brian, how much faith do I have to have in that kid to turn that thing over to him? Brian, I'll tell you.
Well, what
Quite as much faith as Tony Vitello had in him to close out the 2021 regional against Liberty, which he did.
Tony told me, because I asked Tony, "Well, you know about this kid?" He said, I know that he's a winner. Can I trust him? Oh, you can more than trust him. I said, okay. I said, what kind of broadcaster do you think he'd be? I think he'll be very, very good at he'll be very good at anything he wants to be good at. He said, you're dealing with a highly intelligent, teachable. He said the good thing about Will Heflin is that you'll be able to teach him and he will listen to you. And I said, okay, because we're growing him. I'll tell you right now, this guy, we're growing that dude.
Well, I mean, the first time you had him on, I knew it'd be phenomenal. And yeah, you got to work out a few kinks, but that's more technical shit that you're dealing with to start out. I mean, and he's worked through. I mean, it's just been crazy.
And Sammy, picture this the other night when they lost that game. I put the headphones on him from behind. He took the headphones and put them down and said, "Man, give me 20 seconds." He about cussed me out. I mean, I'm looking at him like, dude, we're doing an immediate reaction post-game show. We don't get we don't get 20 seconds to calm down. And then he went on and said on the air that night, he said, look, my wife knows that when we lose a game, you leave me alone for 90 minutes. And he said, somehow Basilio's got me in here doing a post-game show. That one night, hey, Laura said one night when they lost like their third series in a row, she said, I thought he was going to get up and walk out. She said he was like starting to have smoke coming out of his ears. I think it was the game when they got like run ruled by Kentucky. He was in here like pounding his fist on the this Heflin guy, I'm telling you, this guy is I'd listen to him because he's going to blow up one of these days on the air. He's a nut job. I kind of like him. He's wound. When I put the headphones, I snuck behind him and I was like, I grabbed this headphone and I put it right on him. Because I was getting everything set up, like back behind him here in our studio and our setup. And he took the headphones off and looked at me and goes, give me 20 seconds. Okay? And that goes under the heading of, like Bino says about me, I could make the Pope cuss. Because Bino cussed me out one day. One day we were at a remote, and Bino MF'd me like I've never been MF'd in my life. And then he looked at me and he goes, I swear, Basilio, you can make the Pope cuss.
Dude, Brother Bino. And listen, this is America's pastime we're talking about.
Yes.
Brother. And for Bino to be a baseball guy, Matt, I mean, it's just incredible. And your boy Berkey, I called him out the other night. I don't know if you heard the show with Will. I said, Berkey, you got to be better. You're going to tell me, brother, it's a good call when Tony Valls tells a kid that we were calling Keelan it to bunt? Come on, brother. And listen, the other thing.
You called Berkey out? You called Berkey out?
It was the first game of the SEC tournament.
I might have to cut you off, dude. You can't cut Berkey. What do you mean you're going to rip Berkey? Now, I'll tell you about Berkey. Berkey gets sheepy every once in a while. I love Berkey, but he'll get sheepy with you, man.
Hey, and listen, it might have been Gavin just laid down the bunt on his own accord, because I guess sometimes they can do that. So it might not have been his call, but they did ask him about it. Burke was like, yeah, it's a good call. But in that sense, the guy's the best in the business. I could hear him call baseball games all day long.
I love him.
The guy's phenomenal.
My
now,
dream
is he
team.
Be on the call
I love him. I don't know. Is he on the call, Bri? Who's on the call? Do we know?
Yes, we do. Chris Burke, Tom Hart, and Kyle Peterson have the call.
Oh, the A-team. Where's Barabbas? B.A. Barabbas.
Hey, feel it, brother, because it's going to happen. We're going to go in there and take their lunch money. Tony, on the way out, I also asked Will about the celebration, and I think I've figured it out because he talked about being in the car with Gilby.
And he would practice in the mirror, yes.
Yes. I was the one that asked him about that. And of course, in true Gilbert fashion, he doesn't even know the kid is next level. But I'm thinking I'm going to go with, you spray the bottle of champagne. I'm thinking it's just he breaks the effing bottle open, son, just cracks it in half and just shakes, and he's letting the champagne hit him in the face. Tony, last question on the way out.
You need to go light on the edibles there, Shepard.
Hey, on the way out.
Light on the edibles, Shep.
On the way out, did Liam Doyle, did he sneak to the bullpen and call in on the walkie to Tony and say, give me the fucking ball like Ricky fucking Vaughn? Go Big Orange, brother.
Sammy! Brian Hartman, you have anything else you'd care to add on the way out? It's been incredible. And will you have another entry for the blog tomorrow?
I'm working on one right now.
See? There's never been a guy that's brought it to the table like it. Matt Dixon said to me, so what's gotten into Brian? I said, I don't know.
Well, like the baseball program, when they get into the NCAA tournament, they show up more often than not, right?
I hope it continues because we got a long summer coming up here. And you know what, Brian? When you show me you can produce like this, you're going to produce through the summer content.
Uh-oh.
Well, you've shown you can do it. You're kind of the man. You're dominating. You're dominating tclub.team right now. Dominating it. Matt texted me today. He goes, "What?" He goes, "Look at Brian's Nuggets." I mean, Brian, forget snooze and snoats at 6 o'clock. I remember snooze and snoats, Brian. Snooze and snoats got nothing on you, or 3:15, and that was a sports glitch at 6. That's what it was. You got nothing on snooze and snoats. Got nothing on you, man. Brian, any final thoughts? Who do we have? And we have any guests tomorrow, Brian?
We got Adam Gold,
a.k.a. Mike Rooney.
Adam Gold, right off the top.
We also have a gentleman that played here in Knoxville, coached at Arkansas. He's going to join us. A.k.a. Jennifer Morris's friend, pal, and confidant. It's unbelievable, Andy. But he coached baseball at Arkansas, coached under Van Horn. In fact, I think he might have replaced Tony there. No, he didn't replace Tony there. But when Tony was leaving, he was coming. How long's Tony been here, Bri?
2018 was his first season. So
8 years now.
Yeah.
8 seasons. And one was wrapped up by COVID. So 7 seasons. Has anybody ever had that impact in 7 seasons? Anywhere. In any sport. I mean, he took Tennessee baseball from a boy to a man. Shaquille O'Neal. Big Diesel. Love you, appreciate you. Thanks, Bri.
Good show today.
It was all right. I mean, I'm not going to send it. I'm not going to, submit it to the Smithsonian or anything. But it was all right. It was all right. Jeremy Pruitt. Asparagus. 101. To my friends at TLD Logistics, thank you for providing TLD Logistics overdrive, overtime, and all you do to keep America moving. Online at tldlogistics.com for all your shipping needs. They've got you covered like never before. They're incredible. I love them. I love you. I appreciate you. Check out tldlogistics.com. Drivers, they're hunting drivers. We're hunting wins. We need 2 more. Two more. Can we do it? Appreciate you. Peace. GBO.